welcome in all. Any guesses for those out there in Dan at what episode of Dynasty and Beers this is?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier because we haven't done it in a while.
It's been over a month.
Um, wow. Is it like, I would guess 10, somewhere around there?
15.
15. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, over a month since we did it, which is crazy. I can't believe it's been that long.
Yeah,
Obviously
that's definitely more than I expected you to say.
been doing other shows and formats, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, created like our new main one as well. So Dynasty Dilemma as well. So yeah, I mean, it's been good that we've been having some variety, but we're back to the core, bare bones
Yeah.
here of just chilling, talking
Yeah.
Dynasty.
Yeah, back to the basics, just kind of going in with little to no plan and just kind of chilling, talking some Dynasty, just kind of going for more of that chill vibe.
Yeah, I mean, I got something a little special for, I don't know, I think this was probably fun for you to look at, Dan, and those out there, or at least to listen to if you're not watching, but just listening. This is a home league startup. I was like, not wanting to join any more startups, but I have a buddy play football and soccer with him. He's my QB, so I can't let him down. I gotta, I gotta be on good terms with him, and we play in two leagues together, like not together. We play in two leagues with each other, but against each other. One
Okay.
is Joshy's league, and one is just another league. But we've been meaning to like do a startup forever, and finally we had like some home league. Another guy on our football team, like knew a guy doing a startup, so we're like, all right. We'll join together.
Yep.
This has been wild. So this is like nothing like I play in at all. It's just start 11. It's start 11, but the benches are 13 man. No, like there's IR, but no taxis. Look at these. Like look at some of these picks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we got running backs just pushed up like crazy.
Yeah, and just to finish the setting, so it's a super flex, but only half
No
PPR
premium.
and no tight end premium. Is that correct?
No tight end premium. That's it. It's just like it's basically just like your standard redraft half PPR, but start 11.
Yeah, which is great. I mean, half PPR these days just seems so like
It is
antiquated and like
so
foreign.
bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to even go back into that mindset of like
Yeah.
what that's like and how that changes your picks and your rankings and your strategy. So, I mean, I guess sort of like the short answer is it definitely pushes up running backs.
Yes, it does. I was looking at the scoring, tight ends. Like, I just told my buddy, we're like sitting there, and it's like, oh, Bowers at 2-4, and I'm like, yeah, and he scored like 11. No, I think it was like 12 points per game, 12.2 points per game last year. Like, doesn't that just sound awful? I mean, my God.
That sounds brutal. Yeah, so it definitely hurts tight ends a lot. It hurts receivers at least a little bit, and it pushes up running backs. Trying to think, does it have any impact on the quarterbacks? Well,
It's 4 point. It's 4 point, and it's start 11. So yeah, quarterbacks are gonna score not very many points, like to impact your lineup, even though it's super flex.
Yeah.
Look at some of these. We'll highlight some of these picks here, but we have just some of the craziest ones I saw. I mean, look at this. What's crazy when I'm drafting Josh Jacobs at the 4-8. Like we got sniped one pick before on Henderson and two picks before on CMC. So we've only made two trades. It's just like I would make more, but it's like I don't know. We're trying to win, but like also just the other people. It's kind of hard to know if they even want to like trade because it's like a home league. It's not like playing it like a normal one. So I ended up talking him into a trade back a few slots, got a second. We did the same thing down the board. We just have our team that we've drafted here and two extra seconds.
Nice.
But look at some of these picks, man. There's this one guy specifically, Drew Selin or whatever you call it. Like, look at this guy's draft. I don't like. He's picking good players that we like.
They go to the top.
He's just doing it really early. So
Okay, so he went Lamar and then Trey McBride in the
You
third.
got
He didn't
yeah,
have picks in rounds two or four.
Lamar
Oh, we got
Mahomes.
Mahomes in the second. Okay. Oh, and then you also got Judkins in the
Yeah,
fourth as well
but
as Kenneth
but it
Walker.
begins really in round 8.
Okay.
Krosky Merritt. He gets
Wow.
Bill at 8-9. Okay,
Wow.
Devontae Adams 9-4. That's a great value.
Yeah.
Braylon Allen 10-9. I'm not even wanting to like say again that they're bad picks. Like if you look at the kind of
Yeah.
the players going around, it's like he was buried in ADP. I didn't
Right.
think he'd go for another 2 rounds. Okay, you get Pittman, Coker. You know, I mean that is a few
I mean, what round
rounds.
is that for Coker?
12-9 for Coker. So
Yeah,
okay,
I mean, I know he's been getting some hype lately, but I mean, that's so much
I
earlier than where he was going.
yeah.
I mean, wasn't he going like in
I
round like 20 or so,
I
like
just
early
got him round 18 in a full PPR the other
recently?
day. Yeah, round 18 or 19.
Oh wow.
Um,
Okay. So yeah, this guy is just sort of like screw the ADP. I'm just getting my guy.
100%. He's just picking all the hype guys. But okay, you
Okay.
get Sampson at 13-4,
That seems
Douglas
solid.
at 14-9. But then yeah, okay, here we go. I don't even think this one's like ridiculous, but it's like 15-4 Ollie Gordon. But again, he takes him ahead of like Wright, who is technically like on paper the backup, whether it ends up being like that or not. So
Mhm.
there's some other people like we're really. They're really pushing those rookies up. I mean, Egbuka went 5-3 again, half PPR. So like, I mean, it's gonna be. I mean, it's just hard for like to I guess get like a. I don't know. You're kind of at best you're like taking them where, like where they are if they like hit. So
Right.
especially with
Yeah.
JCM. So there's been a lot of that in this draft, but we'll look at our draft real quick, and then we got to make a pick. Is why I'm even showing this. Is my buddies
Yeah.
nowhere to be seen? But I thought that was pretty interesting. Like I really thought there would be rookies would just be going too late.
Right.
These guys wouldn't really care.
You figured this would basically be a league of mostly casuals.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it isn't, but
Right.
there's just some people that they're hearing the buzz. They must have
Yeah.
Twitter. And they're just like, I'm getting this guy no matter
Yeah.
what. I mean, that was just like one guy I was pointing out. There's been kind of picks all over the board that have been interesting. If you're
Sure.
looking at it, you might see some as a
Yeah.
viewer.
Yep.
Anyways, I'm not even gonna go over like the draft, but like
It looks like a pretty sick team, though. I mean, you got the 3 wide receivers with Lamb, Puka, and AJ Brown. Like, that's awesome.
didn't even want to start with 3 receivers. That's like the last thing we wanted to start with, but it was just the best players on the board. We had to take them. This is a league we don't even know if it's. I'm sure it's gonna like last few years, but like normally I'd be inclined to take Hunter over AJ Brown. But again, it's half PPR. It's a weird home league. Like we're just gonna take AJ Brown first,
Right.
and call it a day.
Yeah, imagine if like Travis Hunter starts out slow. I mean, you can probably trade like AJ Brown for like Travis Hunter in a first or something like that in week 2. So
Sure, yeah. I mean, we've had a little bit of like potential trade stuff in mind when picking guys, but we've mostly been trying to like construct just a good team. But we've kind of went an interesting approach. We got Jacobs, Chuba, and Kamara as our main backs. But again, remember RB's pushed up big time, so. Man, they were flying off the board. We just kind of took our shots when we thought we had a decent value. And then we waited till 14-4. I thought this was our best pick. It has nothing to do with being Njoku, but because I didn't even like want Njoku in this format. Like I was just going to be fine taking Jake Ferguson, or someone like that. But we just kept pushing it and pushing and pushing it, and no one cared about tight ends. And hey, round 14 Njoku. I mean,
wow.
we're up to 80% exposure, must be by now. I thought that was like one of our better picks because we waited so long, rather than taking Tucker Kraft in round 9 or whatever,
Right. Yeah, you were definitely rewarded for properly fading the position, and then you get a really nice value on Njoku there as a result. So great job.
Yeah, and then we take we were pushing it, but this is pre benching AR. We take 10-4 AR. We felt pretty good about that one. And then weren't really.
It seemed like he was trending toward being the guy, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, named Daniel Jones as the starter. So it really has been a roller coaster with that QB.
Oh man, yeah, it has. I mean, maybe we could talk about AR a little bit later too. But we ended up we didn't even know he was benched, but we just were like, okay, 10-7 right after, take Darnold. We even get Milrow, which we didn't even see coming, but he was actually just on the board, and we just kind of thought he was the best player for our build. And we also got Tootin and Scatabo on this build. So, again, just kind of values as far as like how running backs were coming off the board in this draft and rookies. So we're on the clock right now is the important part. We only have 4 receivers. One of them's Addison, who will be suspended for 3 games.
Yeah.
I know my buddy's like getting a little eager at receiver.
Mm-hmm.
In my head, I'm just thinking, okay, we can knock off some Josh Palmers and Alec Pierce and Keenan Allen and guys like that down the board, and even Arian Smith, just like random guys, Jalen Lane down the board. But there is Tesla here, and all these rookies are on a run. So I'm actually interested in taking Tesla and then just figuring it out around that.
Yeah, I mean, based on people just grabbing like these hyped rookies, I mean, it feels like kind of a blessing that Tesla's still there. Also, I was even going to bring him up because Seb offered me a third for Tesla in the break room. It was also part of it was actually a 2 for 2 deal. I also would have gotten Jerome Ford, but I would have sent Schoonmaker. But basically, I saw like Ford and Schoonmaker as kind of a wash. So it basically felt like, receiving a third for Tesla. And it was your third. So I'm pretty confident that's going to be late. That really didn't even appeal to me at all. I mean, Teslas look great. It just seems like he's going to be a good player. I mean, I'm not saying he's like instantly going to produce because obviously there's so many weapons there on the Lions. But it just feels like, okay, he looks like a good player. And it's tough to trade away that guy because you don't know how much more his value is going to rise.
Not only that, like even if he just remained at the same value, let's say next year, like you at least got to ride out a free season off him, and then you could just like probably trade him for a late third or better next offseason, assuming he doesn't do 0. So
if he shows some flashes or maybe ends the season on a little bit of a hot run, then he'll be worth the same or more.
So like you're not gonna get any rookies like that for a third. Kind of like we'll talk more about JCM and those guys in a moment, but like a third's not gonna get it done because like, you're just hoping to draft a guy like that in a third, and in fact you're probably unlikely to do that to where they've gotten at this point.
Right, the player you end up drafting with that pick, you're hoping they're at the place, after a few months that Tesla's at right now. So
and that's just like
down the road. That deal.
Yeah, and that's a year down the road. So like, when it comes to these rookies, you gotta either get a second on the board, depending. Like it would depend on who it is, but maybe it's that rookie and something for a second, or
or you need that leverage. So like, if Seb had offered me, I mean, I guess not that I necessarily would have accepted this, but in theory, let's just say you took Schoonmaker out of the deal and he just offers me Jerome Ford in the third. Then that becomes a little more interesting. Still probably wouldn't have accepted that, but it's closer.
Yeah, I did one, but it was like it was an anti-hyped rookie deal. I haven't heard anything about Besh, and I needed some capital in that Bums and Ball Owners League. Like I just don't have any really like future picks other than just my own. So I was just like, let me just like get. I was just hoping I could like. It was right before the Horton like sky like rocket. But I was like going for the whole week. I would just kept sending offers out for the week. And oh no, I can't get Horton, can't get any of those guys. Or JCM or whatever. So it was like, okay, I ended up actually getting a 27 third for Besh, which honestly, like at that point, like I don't even think that's like unreasonable at this point. Just like, which might be an overreaction. But I got Jarquez Hunter on top, which like who knows if he's anything. But I was just like, all right, like let me just give me a pick because like
Because already like Best has just gotten like 0 hype, and he still could end up being like really good in the long term.
But so
could you just sort of look.
So could
Jarquez Hunter.
Hunter.
Take the free third and just kind of cash out there. I like that move.
Yeah, I'm just like not too afraid that like Besh will burn me. But anyways, I just if something's like pretty overwhelmingly like not in like just Besh is the perfect example of it. I'd say like Trey Harris right now is a good example of that too. I know he had a good preseason game, but like KLS came in the game for Quentin Johnston's injury ahead of Trey Harris, so it's like like anytime you get a player like that in the preseason, like I'm just not really it could be early, but I think more times you're gonna be happy to get off him now before they turn into Jonathan Mingo or something along those lines where they're just kind
You want
of
to be really interesting to possibly do on stream tonight? We had some other ideas as well. I don't know, maybe we kind of do everything, but would it be really fascinating to do a rookie draft right now, just you and I,
oh yeah,
alternating picks
that'd be
and
fun.
going like, maybe
Yeah,
2 rounds or something like that, and just kind of seeing like
for
what are
sure.
the top 24 players that we would draft today if we had a rookie draft right now with real
Yeah,
money on the line, and more specifically, more importantly, what order would we take those players in? I bet it would look a lot different than it would
that
from months ago.
100%. That is that. Let's do that. That'll be a good
Yeah,
exercise. I'm
yeah.
sure people will be interested to see that as well.
Oh yeah.
I like seriously things in the last 2 weeks probably will have changed more than the entire off season.
Oh my God, doesn't it feel like that? It just seems like all the hype for all these different guys is
Yeah.
really just kicked into overdrive.
I,
And you're really starting to get that sense of like, at least early on,
yeah.
not that, things can't change in the long term for better or for worse, but you're really getting that early sense of like, ooh, I made
Everything
a
will be
good pick
shuffled.
with this guy, and
Yeah.
ooh, I probably kind of missed with this other guy.
Yeah. With at least our immediate preseason stuff, like I think picks are going to be shuffled all over the place, and I wouldn't be surprised if Jack Besh is like a fourth round pick.
Oh, honestly, I
Like
mean,
I
and
think,
you can argue it's an overreaction and that, he should at least be like a third rounder or something like
but we'll
that.
see when
And
we.
that might be valid, but like just where things are
Yeah.
right now, I mean, that's just how reactionary the market is
Yeah.
for, right or wrong.
Yeah. We'll see. I'm interested to do that. So yeah.
That'll be fun.
Basically my two players on this board back to this is Spears, who again running backs are valuable, but we do have like five, and he's got the high ankle sprain and whatever. I mean, I was considering him like the last turn of picks.
Yeah, I don't
But
think Spears would be a bad pick. Honestly, I think I'd lean Tesla. And I don't know, again, if I'm just getting like wrapped up in the hype and, kind of like a late off
yeah,
season rookie fever here with all the training camp hype and everything.
if
And also I'm a Lions fan, but he really has looked good. And I liked him even before that. And I just feel like he's going to be a real thing. The Lions invested so much into what they traded to move up in the draft and take him. I mean, did they essentially spend
3/3.
like 3/3 on
Yeah.
him? So it's like they believe in this guy, and the early returns have already been promising. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think I would go Tesla.
Yeah, no, he's looked good in a neutral. Like if I owned Tesla, let's say, or I guess if I owned Spears or whatever. Either way, like I would keep the Spears side like every time in a normal league, and especially like full PPR. Like Spears is just like awesome. Even though it was like Tesla, but there's a Lions fan right behind us at 5, 15, 12. That's the guy I play football with. It's the only other guy I know in the league.
Okay,
And like Tesla's just going to be gone. Like I know that Tesla's going to be
you know
gone.
it.
So
You
like
know it.
here's the thing. I think Spears will be gone, but I don't know that he'll be gone. So
Also, with Spears being injured right now, that definitely hurts his value, and I think where he'll go in the draft. And also, isn't it just aren't you kind of even yourself getting? Not that I wouldn't still draft Spears and wouldn't still be happy to have him, but isn't he almost sort of having a little bit of like a Marshawn Lloyd feel to him now? I mean, I know it's his third season, and it's just starting to feel like he's always banged up, and I think that was an issue for him in college as well. I'm just starting to get a little spooked on Spears.
yeah, I mean he's
I
gotten
still love his upside.
yeah.
I'd still be happy to roster him, but it's feeling a little iffy with him.
Oh yeah, he's definitely been hurt a lot. All the knee stuff in college, but I mean that like in the way that running backs have been going, like he's went rounds behind where I would have expected him to go.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
but I think I'm just gonna go Tesla because my buddy wanted a receiver. Spears
yeah,
just would need to fall past. It's just three managers. It's not even 6 picks. It is 6 picks, but it's the same three managers. So if they don't like Spears, if they're thinking the same thing as you here, like
yeah.
they might just see something else on the board.
Just be like, he's injured right now. He's always
Yeah.
injured. Like, what else is there?
Yeah, I think he'll be gone, but I don't even have any Tesla, and
Yeah, Tesla's like it feels like a 0% chance that he's going to make it past that turn in the Lions fan. Like, there's
he
just
won't.
no way.
Yeah, there is literally a 0% chance that he'll be going.
Yeah.
So I'll take him.
Right.
It's really hard to take rookies in these startups. Oh wow, this guy was just here. Really hard to take rookies, I find, in startups, but somehow, some way, we actually have came away with Scatabo, Tootin. Oh no, four Milrow and Tesla.
Right.
Basically, like most of our last four picks, four of our last five. So,
Well, I like that because you were taking a lot of veterans early, and so this gives you some upside, some room for some players to gain in
Yeah.
value. So I think it's, you're building your team in a good way.
Yeah, we'll see if that comes back around to us, if we can make the next pick. If so, let me just fix the thing here. Perfect. So, yeah, I mean, we were just talking rookies. We should just jump into what to do with. I mean, just like the JCM hype train. I know everyone's gonna be talking about it, but we're also gonna talk about like all the most popular guys right now: Henderson, Igbuka.
Luka,
I mean, we can even
yeah,
talk a little bit of Tesla because we were just talking about just brought him up, and he's getting a pretty good hype train going
yeah.
with
Even Torrey Horton, who seems to be like
Torrey Horton.
running with the starters, at least when they run 3 receiver sets. Yeah, I think there's some good guys as well. But yeah,
Those are the main.
Hampton,
Oh yeah, Hampton. Yeah, that's the other one.
yeah, Hampton as well.
Yeah, I'd say and Tyler Warren. I would throw him because he's really been
Oh,
getting
100%.
some
Because, yeah,
hype.
he had a big preseason game where, I don't know if it was just on like one drive, but I don't think he played a ton. And he had like 3 catches on 3 targets for like 40 yards or something like that. And so it was just pretty clear, like, yep, he's going to be the offense,
Yeah, and they actually there was a called back screen I heard that as well. When that was probably my most bullish thing when I had to make that decision in another startup between Warren and Loveland in a 2 PPR was just like I just think Warren is just gonna basically how they were using him that first one. That's just kind of how you envision it. There's no like true alpha there that you're envisioning taking away from the 14th overall pick in Tyler Warren, and the way they used him in college was super bullish for fantasy. So
Yeah, and Josh Downs is banged up as well right now.
Yeah.
So that, targets will be funneled even more toward Tyler Warren, presumably in the middle of the field there for as long as Downs is out. So it definitely feels like wheels up for Tyler Warren. It'll almost be surprising at this point if he doesn't just like come out right away and catch a bunch of passes in like week 1.
Yeah, I mean I'm certainly getting excited about him. Yeah, I like I don't know. I guess we just start with him. Like, I mean, the Daniel Jones getting named is.
Well, do you want to
certainly
just start the
helps.
draft and then we can just talk about each
Sure,
player?
yeah, that's probably a better idea. Yeah, let's just do that.
Yeah, so this will be good because we'll really see if we were in a real money draft right now.
Yeah.
What order would we take these guys in? I really think it's going to look a lot different than it did a few months ago.
Yeah.
So I think that'll really give us a better sense of like where we're at with these players, or more specifically, or more importantly, where the market is at. Really.
What format should we do?
Want to call it like want to call it 0.75 tight end premium, full PPR, super flex.
Okay, yeah, that's probably a good median there. Or medium is the 0.75. That's gonna be tough. That's gonna be really tough with the tight ends. Because like 0.5 or 2 PPR, you could really.
What would be more interesting to do, 0.75 or 0.5?
Ugh. God.
Want to do 0.5? That might actually make decisions a little tougher.
I think it might make it a little. I don't know. I think it might make it a little bit easier.
Okay, let's do 0.75. So the tight end's really better then, but not like overboard, not like the 1.0 tight end premium. So yeah, let's do 0.75. Because honestly, I feel like that is kind of people. And it's like if you took like all the leagues I play in, like probably like a third are 0.5, a third are 1, and a third are 0.75.
Yeah, something like that. Like I think that a lot of people might play in 0.5 or 2, and then actually some 0.75. So it's like we can kind of hit the best.
Yeah, it's kind of like a nice middle mark where tight ends matter, but it's not ridiculous. But it'll still give you a pretty good idea, regardless of whether you're the tight end premium you playing is a little higher or a little lower.
It's gonna be tough for me because I do only play in like 2, I think, with 0.75. And so for me, it's like my brain's at like 0.5
right.
or full, and like that's a big difference. So I mean, I'm interested to see. But do you want the first pick or the second pick?
I don't care. Whatever you're feeling.
Okay.
I'll do the first pick if you want.
Should I run up the card here with Genty?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking if there's any player that has surpassed Genty at this point. I mean, I definitely think Tet has gotten a lot of hype. That'd be another player we hadn't even really mentioned yet. I do think the reports on Travis Hunter have been pretty good. Like, I think if you drafted Travis Hunter, you're feeling pretty good at this point. So I think I think you could make an argument for either of those receivers. Certainly Hampton.
I think there's
Given the whole Najee situation, although I believe he is back to practicing, so who knows?
yeah.
But he's still kind of iffy.
Yeah, I mean, I actually I'll not ruin like maybe my thoughts, but I mean, I guess this is kind of how I was drafting. I only took one Genty, and I actually did end up even trading up for that. But I think there's a lot of players that are like can hop Genty, even if it's like you say it's unlikely. We can acknowledge it's just unlikely because sure, yeah, Genty on paper is the best player. There's no doubt about that. I mean, it's kind of like the Gibbs Bijan thing but we also have these like potential superstar receivers, quarterback and running backs. I mean, even the tight ends. So like, there was just a lot of guys that truly I feel like could jump Genty if he's not a legitimate
Good right away.
If he's not phenomenal, if he's not
Right.
right. I mean, it kind of like the Marv thing last year, right? I mean, we had Ladd and we had BTJ jump him. Probably more at Bowers. So I really feel like it could be a situation like that. I'm not saying I'm scared of Genty. I would love to even own more of him. But
yeah,
there's just a lot of really good prospects. Like, this is a good first round this year.
Yeah, and it's not like we expect the Raiders to be like a top 10 offense necessarily. I mean,
were these other players?
Yeah, I think it would be at least like a solid offense. But yeah, I hear you. Like, I don't think it felt like Genty was like in like this tier of his own, basically. For most of the offseason, and it feels like it's closer now. So I think you can make an argument for a lot of different guys. I mean, honestly, I don't know if this is a crazy thought, but, for this format, would it be crazy to consider either Ibuka or Tyler Warren at the 101? I mean, like, I feel like a lot of guys would be in play here.
Like, I think they could get there throughout the season. Like, no doubt. Like, I think those guys are in play. But
I still feel like ultimately it's Ashton Genty, because even if I feel like the gap is closer than it was, or the gap is closer than other people think it is, I could always take Genty and then trade him for like a Ibuka plus or Tyler Warren plus or something like that. So I think I'll go with Ashton Genty at the 101.
Yeah, no, of course. Let's draft though the rest of the way out, because I think here's the thing. Genty also we're both saying like other players, it might not be such an obvious thing. It's not because Genty went for -1 yards in his preseason debut. That has nothing to do with it. But it's because these other players are garnishing so much hype, and situations have changed for them, like the bottle rocket to Najee's eye, stuff like that. So I think all these other players have been closing the gap, not like, oh, Genty had a bad preseason game. I think want to be clear.
Totally, yeah. It's really nothing that Genty's done wrong.
Yeah, so... But the rest of the way, I think we should try to draft out, like, we're in a rookie draft right now. We're putting, like, trade value scenarios out of the way. We're just drafting who we think's the best. Like, if you can't make any trades, who are you picking? So...
Do we want to really do it that way? Because, like, that's not... I hear you. I hear why you would... I understand why you would say that. But at the same time, that's not a realistic scenario.
Okay, a little bit between the two, because I know what you mean. I would say, like, pick in a mix, like, of, what you think.
Yeah, kind of halfway between, like, what you would actually do in a real draft with trades versus, like, if you were stuck with this player on your roster. I see why you're saying that, because ultimately, is that what's more interesting to know is, like, what players do we truly believe in and, like, want on our roster? So if you want to do it that way, I'm good with that.
Like a mix in between, because, it's still important. Like, maybe for example, like, if you don't buy the JCM thing, but you know he's valued at a certain thing, or you think he is,
right?
Like, you can take him based off that. Like, I think that's fine.
How about this? This is the perfect scenario that I think will meet exactly what you're asking for here. Let's pretend in this league, it's not the most active league in the world. So, yes, you can trade, but who knows, with these, like, deadbeat league mates of yours, if you're actually going to be able to get something done. So when you're on the clock, knowing your league mates in this, fictional league, you're sort of the mindset of, like, hey, like, I might be stuck with this player I draft. So how about that?
And no one's trying to trade for it on the clock. So you got to make your pick, right?
Exactly. Okay, so that's the scenario. It's an inactive league where you theoretically can make trades.
And the only importance of that is just that so you don't be like, oh, well, this guy, I was taking him there 3 months ago and he's got the name, but, like, you don't actually, like, there's nothing really justifying why he would be taken at that spot anymore. So just to be clear with that. But at the 102, this is very difficult.
Right.
I God, yeah. I mean, this is you're putting me on the test here because
Yep.
I had to make this pick only one time, and I went Travis Hunter because my team had no specific need, and I mean, I thought Najee Harris was going to be a nuisance, but Najee Harris got a bottle rocket to the eye. I didn't see that coming. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think my question for Hampton is, did he, is he getting steamed up? We talked on like about it at length. Like I was the pro Hampton guy. I was trying to make you a truther like pre-draft with all the whatever the supporting facts. And I have zero of them in leagues.
Yeah.
But the reason why is because I had to take. I only had the choice actually one time because I didn't trade around to get Hampton.
Mm-hmm.
But I just took Hunter at a later pick every time, and then one time I took Hunter over, which I did consider Hampton. It's just I thought the opportunity with Hunter was just too amazing. But both guys I think have gotten great reports. I mean, I just think like if rookie drafts were going around at the time, if I had this information when I was doing a draft and I knew Najee Harris wasn't practicing, missed all of camp, I think I would give the slight edge day one to Hampton just for the safety that, like, okay, I already liked him as a prospect. He's on a great offense that pounds the rock. He can catch the ball. And he just looks like a workhorse right now. So I think, but he is a running back. So I don't love taking a running back at 102 over potential superstar receivers. But for this, I got to give the slight edge to Hampton. I also don't think you could trade Hunter for Hampton right now. So I just don't think that's going to happen. I think it's the correct choice.
Yeah. I definitely think, if you're using sort of market value as a tiebreaker, I think that's probably the right pick. Although I still feel very, very positive, obviously, about both Ted and Travis Hunter. I think their values have only gone up, if anything. And we know wide receiver still kind of is still kind of that premium position in Dynasty right now. At least that's the way I feel, like even more so than quarterback to some degree. I know a lot of people will disagree with that. So I think you could definitely make the argument for either of those receivers. But yeah, maybe if you're having trouble choosing between the two, just give me the running back who's like clearly the next best guy. So I do get that. And it does seem like he slightly has the advantage in market value right now, maybe slightly.
Yeah, I would just take. I don't know. It is kind of a mix of the two, but I do think like if I had a draft right now, I would take Hampton Head for just like Najee got a freaking bottle rocket to the eye. I mean, like, I was really part of the reason why it was just like a Hunter choice. So, anyways, we'll go to 103. That's tough because God, I love Hunter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you got Tet, you got Hunter, all these guys, Henderson getting steamed up.
Oh God, yeah, I forgot about Henderson for a moment. My God, I mean, like, has anyone been getting more hype than Travion Henderson? So. God, there are so many players I can play here. It's amazing how much closer it seems between Genty and the pack compared to early in the offseason. Like, it's really wild.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of went full circle here for Henderson, especially because Josh and I, our first rookie draft ever, we were going to take Henderson at 1-4 ahead of Tet. And now it's like, oh, no. It was like, okay, Tet was the clear right pick. But now it's like, oh, man, like, God, I mean, I love Henderson. And now everyone's jumping on board. He looks awesome. So, yeah, this is a tough pick. And there's even other names we're not mentioning. So,
oh, my gosh. Yeah, this is a very, very tough pick. I mean, I'm just thinking.
What's your initial thought here?
I mean, I feel like it's between, like, Tyler Warren, Henderson, and Tet, Ibuka, and Travis Hunter. I feel like it's like those 5 players for me here that I'm debating between. I feel like I could make a really good case for any of them. So I'm just thinking, like, if I'm in a real league with these scoring settings,
call it neutral team. Like, you just have a well-balanced
middle of the pack.
Yeah, there's a well-balanced team that you don't have any pressing position because obviously that could break a tie.
Yeah, gosh, it's so tough. I mean, if I'm trying to break ties, I mean, I'm tempted to go with Henderson because I feel like he has more. If I'm going on hype, it would have to be Henderson or Ibuka. I feel like. I mean, I just feel like I have not heard more about more hype on a player than those two guys like the past like couple weeks or so. But ultimately, I'm thinking of like position. I'm probably if I'm going to break a tie, I'm probably going to go with like receiver over running back. And with the tight end premium, I might even go tight end over running back if there's a tight end that I'm excited about, which there is. So I think that kind of narrows it down to Tyler Warren or one of the receivers. I guess like the cop out would be like, oh, if I can't choose between these three receivers, I'll just take like the one tight end. That's probably kind of like the knee jerk reaction or gut instinct of kind of just like what the easy decision would be, because that feels easier than choosing between the three receivers, even if that's maybe not the best process in the world to break a tie. So yeah, real league, real money on the line. I'm probably going. I'm going to go with the easy thing. Like God, can I do it? Can I really pull the trigger on Tyler Warren at the 103 in a real league? Oh man, it still feels gross taking a tight end, even with this tight end premium. But man, it just feels like he's just going to be this like immediate smash. Whereas like with Tet, Travis Hunter, Ibuka, like yeah, I think they're going to hit pretty soon. But is it going to be like week 1, week 2, week 3? Like it might take a few weeks before we really start to see it. I could just have that instant hit and Tyler Warren. We know everyone's going to overreact after week 1. Who's really the most likely to just like?
Are you worried like if you took Warren like this early because you get Daniel Jones to start, but it's like how many games is he going to play? And then are you confident if AR can get him the ball? Like I think that's got to be in play.
Yeah, I mean it's not the greatest QB situation. I'm not like
maybe you got Riley Leonard in there.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so do you favor like a good offense, a good quarterback? That's another good thought.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Bryce Young is on the come up. Baker Mayfield has been awesome the past couple years. And then Trevor Lawrence, I don't know, I guess like he's kind of hot and cold, jury's still kind of out on him. Also as tiebreakers, I mean, you look at like the Bucks, they still have Mike Evans there for at least another year. Godwin will probably be back at some point. I mean, of course, with the Jags, you have Brian Thomas there. That's a pretty big deal. And then, but on the Panthers, I mean, it's a pretty clear path toward Ted being like the clear alpha there. So maybe that's the tiebreaker. He's like the clear wide receiver 1. He's got a good young quarterback throwing him the ball. It seems like that's a pretty good situation to be in, and it does seem like he has slightly more market value than Travis Hunter, because even just on tradability, no one's concerned about, oh, Tet's going to play defensive back someday, even if those concerns are a bit ridiculous and overblown at this point, because I'm really not too worried about that anymore. So I'll go with Tet McMillan.
Yeah. I mean, like, honestly, when doing, like, underdog drafts and stuff like that, like, I just didn't realize, because, I mean, again, like, they were still neck and neck in Dynasty when I'm drafting Hunter and Tet, but it's like, okay, Hunter's clear ahead, and I'm like, wait, like, should I have him, like, clear ahead? Because I'm, like, drafting, like, Ted ahead of him, along with ADP. ADP's way higher than Ted. And it's like, man, like, that's weird. Like, normally I wouldn't be on, like, the flip side of that. So it is really close, and really anything to do with Travis Hunter is very difficult in Dynasty.
And me choosing Tet there, that is not anti-Travis Hunter whatsoever. If anything, I feel a lot better and a lot safer and more secure with Travis Hunter than I did even like a few weeks ago. Certainly a few months ago. So I honestly feel better about Travis Hunter than I ever have. Like it's really splitting hairs.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead pick Hunter. It's still close with these other guys behind, just as far as like they've close the gap on Hunter, McMillan, all these guys, because everyone is getting hyped up. But like again, we're getting good reports out. I mean, some really good stuff from Cohen as far as like we'll see with how much his defensive snaps are. Like we'll try to get him to match the offensive ones, but we'll try. We'll see. I mean, I've just been a shocking turn of events. You were the Hunter guy trying to get me on board pre-draft. The Browns was just such a bad landing spot that looked like where he was going.
Right. God, that's funny that you say that. I almost like
It was
forgot that at one
awful.
time,
Like,
yeah, you really weren't on board with him, and
no,
I was trying to like talk you into it. And yeah, the turning point for me when I started feeling good about Travis Hunter was when I thought he was going to get drafted by the Browns, because the reason I like that is because not only do they throw the ball a lot, but more importantly, they were saying that if they took him, they would play him at wide receiver. So that's why I was like, okay, well, hey, if that's where he's going and they're playing him at receiver, then I'm in on him.
true. Yeah. What do you like? Almost like what matters more is like the situation for me because he's such a. I mean, he's literally like a one of one player. Like I want him to go to the best landing spot fit for him. And to me, that's an offensive minded coach. No, not saying that Stefanski isn't. He is, but like I want him on like a Vikings type coaching staff and regime where it's this like
Right.
young, like creative, outside the box,
Right.
kind of like all, and then like the scheme itself is like we want to like score points. We want to not be like these old head
Yeah.
3 yards in a cloud of dust football team.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, like to me, I've thought it through. Like, can anyone name a landing spot better than Jacksonville for Travis Hunter? I actually think it's the best landing spot there was.
Yeah,
in
it
the
probably
entire
is. And he's probably going to play the slot, and it's that great slot role in the Cohen offense. And by the way, just to interrupt quickly here, we have Ishan in the chat. So I don't know if he's Ishan. I don't know if you've ever seen one of our streams before, but good to have you here. And he says in the live chat, no Hendy at 103.
Look, we're at 104. Man, I mean, you'll know. Like, I am the biggest. If you haven't watched the channel, I'm like one of the biggest Henderson bulls out there.
Yeah.
But I'm still giving the top 10 receiver, and it sounds like you are too, Dan, to the tiebreaker to the receivers here. But
yeah,
it feels like splitting hairs at this point, right? Like
it really does. It really does. Like, I mean, honestly, it feels like we still have Ibuka, Henderson, and Tyler Warren left. So we've already taken 4. So it kind of feels like, unless there's someone really obvious that I'm forgetting offhand, it kind of feels like that's almost like a tier of 7. I mean, it does.
Well, we're forgetting Cam Ward.
Like one big, what?
Like Cam Ward is still.
Cam Ward, yeah, I thought of that a minute ago. Yeah,
I completely forgot about him as well. So
yeah, if you include Cam Ward, it kind of feels like there's like this big tier of like 7, 8 players. Even Loveland.
There's still Loveland, Judkins, and Harvey that like we haven't even mentioned. So like,
I mean, I definitely wouldn't put Harvey and Judkins in there. I think you could make the case for Ward and Loveland, although I'm not quite as excited about taking a QB. And I think maybe Loveland you'd have a better case for, especially since he's been running ahead of Cole Kmet. So I would say that I'm trying to think. Would I actually put? I feel like I'd have to put Loveland in a slightly.
Let's wait till we get there.
So for me, there's a tier of 7.
Well, let's see when we get there. When we get on the clock, let's see how this unfolds.
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah, Hunter. I thought this was the best landing spot when I watched that go down live. I mean, it was like no one saw that coming, and I was just like, holy crap! Like, dude, this is like the instant reaction was this is the GM's first move. Like this outside the thinking. From everything I could tell at the time and now especially, I mean, like they had a big plan going in for Hunter. I mean, this guy's entire career is like GM. What would you call it? Like he's just gonna be remembered on this Travis Hunter pick. They're obviously gonna like do everything in their way to make this guy succeed, not only on whatever playing both sides, but like. You take a player that high with Travis Hunter's skill set, like, it's going to be the franchise player. You got to get him the ball on offense. Like, on an offensive Liam Cohen system, he's bound to play the slot like at least 50% of the time. I mean, we just saw what Chris Godwin did. I still never hear anyone talk about that. I think that's largely overlooked. I think Travis Hunter, I know it's crazy, but I just want to like throw it out there that like, remember like BTJ, we saw what he did last year. Like, he was not some phenomenal prospect. He was a first-round prospect. He had a great 4th year, like a 4th year breakout. But, like, Travis Hunter is just, like, obviously a better receiver prospect than BTJ was coming out. So I think it's crazy for anyone to actually confidently say there's no chance Travis Hunter can overtake him. I mean, I think that's wild if you don't think that's in the range of outcomes. I'm not saying it's more than 50%. Let's be clear, but... What if they're also are like equal in fantasy? Also,
Yeah.
just look at how Godwin was deployed the previous few seasons versus Mike Evans. Like, obviously, everyone wanted Mike Evans
Mhm.
over Godwin. Liam Cohen comes into town. It's like clearly you want Godwin over Evans, right? Like, it's not that Godwin was a better player, so
Right.
don't overlook that too. Um, I feel like we covered Travis Hunter pretty well here, but I think he's the most important guy to like talk about
Yeah.
in his rookie drafts because he's like the hardest for good reason to rank.
Yeah. I mean, he still might be getting slept on a
I
little
think
bit
he
in a
could be
weird
the one
way.
on one clearly. I mean, it's why I have so much.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's crazy. Like we could look back and say, you know what, it just should have been Travis Hunter.
Yeah, I mean, I really think it's again. There's just so many good players, so it could kind of be one of those ones where a lot of these guys, end up outperforming. But yeah, people might just be like, oh man, you were really scared of him playing DB for the Jags when they had Diami Brown as their wide receiver too, or whatever. So yeah, Hunter all day 1-4, but man, it is tight here because you're at 1-5. We'll see who you pick.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely between Abuka, Tyler Warren, and Travion Henderson. I think I'm gonna. I mean, I'm splitting hairs here. I'd be thrilled to get either any one of those three players here. I think I'm gonna go Travion Henderson. I mean, the hype's out of control. It just seems like he's gonna be the starter in that backfield from pretty much like week one. He catches passes. It's a great situation in like the Josh McDaniels offense. Like you just know there's gonna it could really be like a PPR scam.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe even in a way that we haven't seen in a while because it seems like running backs don't catch as many passes as they used to. I've been playing fantasy for a long time, and there used to be such a thing as like you know, like the PPR scam kind of running back, where like just like the vast majority of their production come on their passing game role, and they would have like a ridiculous amount of catches in a season, even if they didn't run the ball that much, and you could like start these guys in your RB2, and like you were good. You could like basically. I mean, I wasn't in Dynasty at the time. I mean, I'm talking about like, 10, 15 plus years ago, like that kind of thing. But I kind of remember that era where in like a redraft draft, I would like load up early and, this is full PPR, like load up early on like, wide receivers and, get like an elite, and then like build like a hero running back. So get like the one like stud running back early. And then I could just get like my RB2 like in like kind of like the middle to late rounds, just getting these like PPR scams. And so maybe like Henderson could kind of be like an old school version of that to a degree, but he's still going to get a good amount of rushing attempts. He's just so explosive. Yeah, we saw it in the preseason already. The hype's been out of control. I feel like I just got to go with Henderson here.
yeah. I mean, you're not even wrong. The running back numbers for receptions were the lowest, or like I think they've been declining.
Yeah.
They've been like the lowest they've ever been. So yeah, I mean they are catching less. Henderson, just to sum him up easily, he's everything that I'm looking for in a back. Like literally, like I mean, again, I think like Jahmyr Gibbs has been comped to him quite often. I think it's like accurate as far as their skill sets, what they provide for fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like this is why I love Henderson so much. We're literally taking him at 105, like, and we love him that much. Like it's just that good of a top of the draft class. I
Yeah.
wish I got more, but like the issue was I needed to get Travis Hunter before him. So it's kind of like in Tet as well. So I was taking them ahead. Hunter and Tet completely screwed me out of like 100% or like 50% Henderson, probably realistically. Like if I didn't like those guys, I
Right.
would have a gazillion of Henderson would be probably
Right.
the next outcome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean next here it's 0.75. I mean I really think it's a difficult selection here clearly because now we got to really start picking from these. I figured these top five guys would come out. I got to go back to at least my like my take
Pre-draft.
pre draft. But here's the thing: the situation I was hoping for him to find, he's kind of just like lucked into it here after draft.
Right.
I mean, it looked like an awful landing spot, and no one could have known that like unless you did the surgery or you were there for Chris Godwin. He had a second ankle surgery. No one could have known that, what's his name? McMillan was damn near gonna get paralyzed on a preseason catch. So like, it's clearly wheels up for Igbokwe. I just think he was amazing. I was comping him before the draft, like his skill set, the range of where he was going to go, to literally Justin Jefferson. I'm not saying he's Justin Jefferson. I'm saying his strengths like are identical. It's a very similar profile, skill set wise, and if he can just get the opportunity, if those receivers can stay hurt, whatever it is, like, it's probably more so next year that he's like gets to that superstar thing. But we can see him now flash right out the gate. Igbokwe, I think, is going to be impossible to trade for if he goes out. So I got to put him here 1-6. I would just take him like over Warren personally. It might be close, but
yeah, I mean, even with the tight end premium, it still feels like wide receivers, that position I just want to build around. So yeah, I don't blame you whatsoever for that pick. And yeah, Igbokwe already feels like impossible to trade for.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, at the 107 here, I feel like this is an easy pick because I feel like it's the last player in a tier for me personally. Even though there are still plenty of good players left in the in this particular rookie draft here that we're doing, but it's definitely Tyler Warren here.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, it just feels like he's just going to be an instant hit. Like I mean, I own him in 2 leagues. I'm starting him week 1. I mean, and who knows? Like maybe that proves to be wrong, and he's like most tight ends that it just starts slowly, but it just feels like he's already hit. Like as weird as that sounds, it just feels like this is happening. It's weird to say that, but yeah. I mean, isn't that kind of the sense that you have? I mean, it just feels like we just already know he's good, and he's going to be like I mean, he might be like the number 1 target on his offense. Like, I mean, how often do you get that?
Yeah, I mean, I really think he could be like. I just really like his skill set and the way he was used in college and deployed to fantasy. I know that I remember. Yeah, Jacob was pretty concerned about it, but to me, it's like he doesn't even need to earn targets. They're gonna find ways to get him the ball, and of course he'll still earn targets. He's a top 14 overall pick. He was still able to get open, maybe just not as didn't look as good in that regard to Loveland, who's obviously amazing as well. But it's the complete opposite situation to what Loveland is. I mean, it could not be more opposite. I just think Warren is the guy you want out the gate, and you can eat like when I had to make that decision in the Dynasty startup between the two. I was just thinking like the odds that I can trade Warren for Loveland plus is probably pretty good. So it's clearly going to be the pick for me. After thinking that through, so yeah, absolutely would take him there. I think it's very difficult. Like I guess your team situation could go. I'd still put Ward in the category with these last 2 guys taken. I just really like Ward. I think the only reason I wouldn't have Ward higher into this like 5 or 6 range or whatever, if he could run. Like if he had the legs of Jackson Dart, like I would be over the moon about Cam Ward. Like I have no doubt.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
Quarterback.
But the thing is, like as it stands, he's more of like the classic pocket quarterback that's not going to give you a ton of rushing production. And he's a guy that if you draft, he's not going to be easy to move because like quarterbacks just aren't as easy to move as a wide receiver or especially a tight end, 0.75 tight end premium. Because like those are guys that you could even still. I mean, think about it. Like, let's just say this league is like a start 11, right? Because a lot of the leagues that are like 0.75 tight end premium and above tend to be start 11, right? So you're probably – so what does that translate to? It's probably, 3 receivers, and is that, 3 flex and a super flex? So, I mean, you can start, like 6, 7 receivers a week or like 4 or 5 tight ends a week. So I would just rather have my value invested into like receiver and tight end. Worst case scenario, I can always throw one of those guys in a super flex spot. I mean, if the rest of my team is loaded and Tyler Warren is hitting like right off the bat like we think he is, even if I only have like 1 QB on my roster, like Tyler Warren in the super flex spot might be like more than fine.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a good point. Like Ward, I think the one thing to not overlook on Ward though is the CJ Stroud effect, right? I mean, if he's looking good, he's going to be hyped out like to the moon. Now, people might actually learn their lesson from Stroud, not rank him 3rd overall, after the offseason, after, honestly, like, not very good fantasy season. Like, I mean, not a top 3, not even close, but I wouldn't go into that. But Ward, I mean, he just needs to be like he just needs to have a good rookie season. He doesn't need to be Jaden Daniels to be like
He
a
needs to
mass
show the
hit.
flashes, like have a really big game or two, like that
He
crazy
doesn't
game that Stroud had that really caught everyone's attention.
he doesn't need to do a lot to number one maintain his value. I mean, I'd be like shocked if he didn't. Especially if we were taking him here. I mean, oftentimes he was going 1.6, 1.7 anyways. This is pretty much where he was going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really think he'll go up in value. I just don't know, like, without the rushing, that it would be like enough for me to like kick myself over. That's why I have 0, which sucks because I really like Cam Ward. I just thought of it as a situation where it's like, honestly, I just don't mind like trading for him on his way up if I just for some reason change my mind or I was wrong.
Yeah.
But I think he's like literally like a home run at 1.8. Like that is. Can you imagine you need
Yeah,
a
I mean,
quarterback
it
and you
seems
got
like very good value to get, the player who was taken first overall in the NFL draft. And I mean, I don't know if there's been like a ton of hype, but I mean, it seems like some of these other 7 players ahead of him here have stolen more of the spotlight. But I mean, there definitely haven't been any negative reports on him. I think it's been like mostly positive from what we have heard. Maybe you can speak to that a little better than I can, Blake. But I guess my only concern would be, in response to what you said about Stroud, how many people actually were able to cash out on Stroud once his value went up to those absurd levels? I mean,
I'd
I'm
say
sure some
both mine.
people were, but I mean, it's not easy to move a quarterback like that
Well,
where it's like, oh, I need like 3 first plus. Like, how
here's
many
the thing.
people
It
are
was.
doing
No,
that?
it was. That's the thing. You're confusing this offseason with the last offseason. There were
Okay,
nothing the
yeah.
same. There were nothing the same for quarterbacks.
Okay, but actually, that makes my point. That actually even makes my next point, which is the better one, is that because people were burned on Stroud last year, because maybe
Exactly.
people actually were doing that, now they might be more hesitant when they see this from Cam Ward, like, oh, I remember this when I spent like
Yeah.
3 first plus on a pocket QB because he had
Yeah.
one or two good games his rookie season.
It's an AFC South team. No, I seriously, yeah, I think that's like an actual. It could actually just like raise that whatever you think he would be priced at or whatever. I guess if you put him in place of Stroud in that year,
Yeah,
like he might do the exact same thing, be right at the same spot, but like because he does it this year, not only are there
yeah,
other quarterbacks around him that might lower him, but also people might like have the Stroud effect on him.
exactly.
So
Because it's gonna look and feel so similar, probably.
for sure. So
Yeah, same division as you mentioned as well. So yeah, a lot of similarities.
yeah, a lot of similarities, but sorry, like cars were like going by honking. I don't know if you could hear that or not, but
No, I didn't even hear it.
super strange. But yeah, I mean, it's a tough. It's just like hard to get Ward ahead. Now, if you needed a quarterback really badly, like I could justify taking him over like Book and Warren still. Like if it just made sense for your team, and then you could, figure it out other ways. Maybe you have other draft picks, but there is another interesting way you could go with Dart later, who is probably coming up here. So it's your pick now.
Yeah. I mean, unless there's someone obvious that I'm overlooking here. I mean, I feel like Loveland immediately comes to mind here with the 0.75 tight end premium. I mean, I don't feel quite the conviction about him that I do with Warren in terms of like being an immediate hit. It might be more like, week 5 or week 8 rather than like week 1 with Tyler Warren. At the same time, I definitely wouldn't put it past Loveland to just like come out and like, oh, maybe look like Sam Laporta did like in week 1 last season. Like I think there's a pretty decent chance of that as well, but I don't feel quite the confidence of like that immediate hit that I do with Tyler Warren. But I still feel very good about him. And you could still argue it's neck and neck because I think Loveland was considered by a lot of the I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like the metrics and like the film guys and the guys that like really know football, I feel like Loveland was considered like the best tight end in this class. I mean, I don't know, maybe it was kind of split, but I feel like a lot of smart people were saying that Loveland was the best tight end in this class. And I feel like his stock has only gone up. I mean, he's already running ahead of Cole Kmet. I mean, that was like the biggest concern is that Cole Kmet would be this like annoying, like Najee Harris type of guy that just kind of stood in the way of that, year 1 production or at least like early season production in year 1. But it seems like that's not even going to be the case. So I do feel like it's pretty much wheels up for Loveland. I think he's going to have the opportunity to start right away. So it'll just be a matter of like, what's he going to do with that opportunity? And I think I'd be inclined to bet on him. I mean, certainly at the 109 and a 0.75 tight end premium. I mean, the Bears invested a very high pick into him, just as the Colts did with Warren. So, unless there's someone I'm overlooking here, I feel like Loveland's a pretty easy pick.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. I mean, I guess my only concerns for Loveland would be the thing is he's a good dynasty pick. I still am like I still have questions about the year one stuff, though. There's obviously so many paths by just him being great, and also just the fact that there's not really like a true alpha established. Now, someone will probably step up this year or two players, but
Yeah.
whoever they are, I don't know because like I just have questions of like one of him and Burden without a trade or an injury, like one of these guys are going to be really disappointing. It feels like
Yeah.
just I mean
I feel like it's more likely to be Burden. I mean,
yeah
they're saying Olamide
it should be
Zacchaeus is even running ahead of Burden right now, and they're saying like Zacchaeus like had a pretty good camp and has been catching a lot of passes and stuff. So I mean, who knows? Like, who knows how long that'll actually last? Maybe it'll be like a few games to start the season or whatever. But I think I would more bet on Burden being the disappointment personally, but nothing against Burden. Like, I think he could be a fine player, and he was still probably a good value where he was going in like the late first, early second. So yeah, nothing against Burden, but if I had to bet on one of those two disappointing, I think I'd probably
it
slip
should be
Burden.
yeah because I mean he wasn't even taking the first round right and Loveland taking
Yeah.
10th overall, so it certainly makes sense. I mean for Loveland I think you just gotta kind of close your eyes like unless you think he's gonna come out and smash week one. I think people are overstating a little bit like personally all off season, but and maybe like the immediate impact parts, but
Yeah.
I'm still drafting him and redraft and stuff like that. Like he's gonna be an awesome pick and an awesome prospect to bet on. I think
Yeah.
Loveland, like again, he's just like more of a year two play. If you get surprised in the second half of year one or something, like that's we're obviously like we wouldn't be surprised. It would be a very pleasant quote unquote surprise though to get like whatever like a top tight end huge stretch if you could turn it into anything of like a Laporta or Bowers type season. I do think it's like DJ Moore needs to clear out, and then the path is so much more clear for him. Maybe Komet's gone too. That's when I'm getting really excited if I'm drafting Loveland.
Okay. And also, I realized as we were talking about this that there was one player that I overlooked that I definitely would have considered very closely with Loveland there
Okay.
if I had thought of his name. So I'm not sure which way I would have gone, but I'm assuming you're going to take him with the next pick.
I'm actually like I'm really having a tough time with this next one. I think I just gotta close my eyes, and I don't know if this one will be popular. I don't really feel like too confident in this, but
Oh, wow.
I'm still just taking Judkins. Now this is a weird
Okay.
one. I think the next three picks are gonna be like to me, put them in any order, like
Okay.
maybe even four, but. Yeah, I gotta like honestly pull up a rookie draft to like remember every single player.
Yeah, it would
Have
be
them on
easier
mine.
if you could just like filter this by rookies. There's no. Oh, actually, why don't you
Oh yeah,
click rookies only?
there you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I take this back. Yeah, hold on. I didn't even think about this guy.
I think you just noticed the
Uh,
name that I was
I don't
alluding
know.
to.
I'm not sure, but I have to
Yeah,
go golden here.
that was exactly the player I
Yeah.
had in mind.
I completely take that back. I might even like put Judkins behind.
That's what I assumed you were gonna do, and then
Yeah,
when you
no,
put Duckett, I was like,
it's
what?
golden. Look, I don't think a lot of people were like too bullish on his actual profile, me included. The opportunity, dude. If the Green Bay is slinging it and he's the receiver one, like this dude is an absolute steal. I'm down to 0 after trading him. I wish I could get some more. He's a guy where like if he gets a cold start, but things are like the numbers are supporting him and he looks good, and I expect him to look good. I'm trying to buy the dip on him, like absolutely in the season.
Yeah. So here's my big question for you, though. So yeah, you've been pretty anti-Golden for most of the offseason, and it seems like recently, like you're pretty
Yeah,
much like in on. So what has changed between then and now?
His price is nothing. I thought he'd be the 108. I mean, people were talking about him at the 105. right? I mean, it's often you hate the price, not the player,
Right,
for the
of
most
course.
part, right? Like in like 99% of the cases. Now I might like say like, oh my god, like I hate Shakir, but it's like, okay, it's like actually the price. Like I don't like
Right,
hate Khalil
sure.
Shakir. And
I
that's
mean,
like with
Golden was
Golden,
not like a great prospect in the traditional sense. I mean, his
but
production at Texas was
here
pretty bad. There was some context around
a
it of like
lot, yeah,
Texas is like loaded with all these playmakers, and not like everyone can
not
produce
just
so
that.
much.
Yeah, I mean he transferred to Texas into his third year. Bond was the established wide receiver one, right?
Yeah,
There was other context too with his other school, but this is honestly the biggest selling point for Golden with me is the fact that he was like an early declarer with all those questions, and the NFL still took him at 19th overall. The whole Packers thing,
right.
gets a chance to be the receiver one. Obviously, reports have been great as well. But guess what?
Yeah,
If he went back and played with Arch Manning, would we not expect just a nuclear season? I think we would. He went 19th overall. Clearly, the NFL would think that, right? Well, look at
yeah,
Brian Thomas. I think that this is like like the best case that I've seen laid out there. I think it was JJ Zacharyson put it out. He brought up, what if, like, what are you doing? Like, if you expect Golden to go back and dominate, I don't think he did the
yeah,
Brian Thomas comp, but that's just kind of where my mind went. Brian
right.
Thomas did nothing really his first 3 seasons, and blows up his fourth season with Jane Daniels. And I just don't see why Manning couldn't bring Golden to
Yeah,
being a just a massive season. Now I guess like yeah, you get a 1 year less experienced Golden coming out if that makes sense. Like he hasn't technically done that,
mhm.
but I think it's completely reasonable to expect he would have smashed. And I just see like a Brian Thomas level range of outcomes for him because there's questions about his prospect profile. He looks good though. I didn't even really end up with Brian Thomas because like there were question marks about this. Oh, he wasn't an early declare. He looked
Mhm.
good. He looked amazing on tape. So I'm just buying into it. It's a perfect
Yeah,
landing spot. That's really all I need to say about it. Someone on that Green Bay offense needs to pay off, I think.
right.
And Golden at price, even though he's the most expensive, I do think is like the best options there. Like my favorite target.
Yeah, and it sounds like you'd probably take him over Loveland. Would you take him also over Ward?
I mean, it would be in a two PPR. I probably take Loveland ahead of Golden.
Okay.
And close my eyes. 0.75, that really makes it close.
Yeah.
It's just like a tiebreaker of like I believe in Loveland as a prospect way more than I do Golden. But man,
Yeah, I think it's the right call. I think
yeah.
you can argue it either way, but I think like Loveland is probably the smarter call.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it like really
Pretty close
matters that
though.
much. It's just like yeah, put Loveland ahead because of the prospect profile. But like Golden, like you could really regret that. That's like the issue. Like
Yeah.
Golden could be like the 101 in this classic. I genuinely believe he has that upside. Like just the way he operates, his skill set, and in his situation. So my initial like no way I'm touching this guy. When I started seeing him going 2-1, I'm going, man, I wish I had a 2-1 so I could just throw my dart. I like him way better than Burden. Like, Burden
Yeah.
was going ahead of him in drafts, so yeah, I had to take Golden there.
Yeah, for sure. I think that was a pretty easy choice there. And we have BT in the chat. He says, "What is this?" with the eye
Oh,
emoji. So yeah, BT. Yeah, welcome to the channel. Good to have you here. We are doing a rookie draft, which we thought, mock draft, which we thought would be fun to do now with how much things have changed, since earlier in the off season, to now with all the training camp hype and everything. We figured doing a rookie mock draft right now would give us a good idea of where we stand on all these rookies and how the training camp hype and everything and preseason games have really changed the rankings for us and for the market. So
yeah,
just kind of a fun little experiment that we thought we'd do to just really see where we stand on these rookies and all
yeah.
the hype.
And this is just your standard, whatever, we're just calling it start 10 or 11, but 0.75 premium is the important part.
Yeah, full
Um,
PPR and yeah, call it a start 11, 12
yeah.
team league. So yeah, that's kind of the context of this mock draft here.
Yeah, this is a
Is
dynasty
this a
one.
dynasty mock or redraft mock? This is a dynasty mock. So yeah, let us know if you play dynasty and also
This
how you
is
found.
Brandon. This is I know him. This
Oh,
is
it's Brandon.
Yeah, this is
Oh, okay.
I did a startup. Trent and I co-managed a team. This is a guy I know through Madden.
Oh, okay. Cool. Good deal.
So yeah, good to have you in here,
Yeah, yeah.
Brandon.
And yeah, we'll try to go a little faster through
Yeah,
the rest of these.
but these are the
I
most
think
important picks. Like we
yeah, but I do think some of the most interesting picks are going to happen for the next round or
yeah.
so. So depending on it doesn't have to be exactly 2 rounds. Like we could even go slightly longer if we're able to make the picks, talk a little less. Because I do think the order is going to be pretty
Yeah.
interesting.
Let's do
Beginning
all.
very
Let's try to do all 4 rounds. We'll speed it up, but
Okay,
these
yeah, it
first
might
10
just be
picks
like
are
yeah. For some of the later ones, it might just be like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
A player kind of like one sentence. Here's why.
Yeah. These have been some tough 10 picks. Let's get your 111.
Yeah, so we'll go more of a rapid fire as we go further and further here. I'm gonna go with R.J. Harvey here. I would rather just avoid the potential landmine of Judkins. Not saying he couldn't be a very good player, but year one is still feeling murky to me, even though he's not going to be have any charges brought against him for the incident he was involved with. He still hasn't signed a contract yet. I'm sure he will at some point, but I don't know. It just doesn't feel great. Like, just give me R.J. Harvey. Like, I feel like he could produce right away. Yeah, you have J.K. Dobbins there, but I think Harvey's going to be the guy sooner or later.
Yeah, I mean, I think like by a sliver, as long as I don't need that week one production, which again, like Harvey's in question for that as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like betting on the 21-year-old back over the 24. Just like if anything happens to Harvey, like that's a landmine. You know what I mean? And I like Harvey, like because like his price has been adjusted. I think from people were basically like trying to push him close to Henderson. I just didn't believe that at all. I just thought he was closer to the Caleb Johnson and all those guys. So I feel so much better about Harvey's price, but I totally get it. Brandon says Hendo 103 easy for me, and I've been saying I'm just like I don't know if you know that, Brandon. I'm massive Henderson guy. We talked about it in length in the 103 to really like 106. Well,
one big tier.
But yeah, 3 and 5 is like it's still like a clear cutoff for me, but it's like. Okay, Igbuka, Warren, War, like these guys can easily jump anyone ahead of them, but I still want Tet, Hunter, and Henderson. I want those guys in every league.
Yeah, I mean, you could like, if you really wanted to split hairs, you could kind of like break up the top 7 into some like mini tiers, I guess, as you'd call them. But like, honestly, I feel like that top 7 there, I could make a case for any one of those guys at the 101. So yeah, definitely don't blame you, Brandon, for saying Henderson at the 103. It's very close between those.
You could literally, again, like we were talking about the running backs, like the reason I've been so bullish on Henderson is the fact that it could just be one of those scenarios where like, he's just better than the 2 other running backs taken ahead of him. I don't see any reason he can't be, and he's significantly cheaper than them. So,
I think R.J. Harvey, like he could kind of be like the poor man's Henderson. Because think about it, he's playing in a good offense, great young quarterback. Sean Payton offenses love throwing to the running backs. Think Alvin Kamara. That worked out pretty well. Harvey's explosive as hell. Maybe he doesn't have like the greatest vision. Hopefully he can get a little better at that. But regardless, he should make a lot of big plays, catch a lot of passes, especially once he kind of
almost in identical.
Dobbins or Dobbins gets injured or whatever. But like I think Harvey's still pretty exciting, and I think he's still a guy that's getting overlooked a little bit.
I mean, not in redraft at all. I mean, his like he is right there with Henderson, or has been, right? Like I don't think he's getting overlooked really at all. I think he's properly.
Well, in redraft, yes, but like in Dynasty, someone that like people are like really excited about.
He has been. I mean, at least for Harvey's been going at least after the initial first 2 weeks. Like it has been the Harvey train, Harvey this and Harvey that's all I'm ever hearing about. Until I
haven't heard much, so maybe it's just the content I'm consuming.
That Dobbins signing at least cooled and I think for good reason for his price. Like I don't think the Dobbins signing will make or break him or anything. I just think like he's a 24-year-old back. Like if literally like the there's no space for him to be bad or to get hurt. Like that's why. It's nothing to do really with Harvey. It's just like. If Henderson was a 24-year-old running back, like, I can't put him at the 1-5, dude. Like, I'm putting him at the back of the first every time because that's a landmine waiting to happen. If
but I mean, don't you think Harvey's a good value here at the 111, 112?
If you, yeah, I mean, like for his profile, I think it's interesting because his redraft value, if it lives up
Well, other
to
than
like his redraft value is there. I just think that there's other running backs you can get with a 1 or 11, 12 that are going to put up similar production. I always bring up Canine, so I just think he's appropriate price. I don't think it's like some crazy value. I can see him
oh yeah,
out
I'm not saying
producing it,
Harvey's some amazing value. I just think he's the best player on the board. But even if you'd
but
say you took Judkins ahead of him, like, is there anyone you would take at the 112
you
over
know,
Harvey?
I'm changing my mark because here's a guy that I think you could take over Harvey's against, depending on your build. I'm changing it. I'm not taking Judkins. I'm taking Jackson Dart after what we've seen so far. I mean, he's looked awesome in preseason. No, it's only preseason,
Mhm.
but I think it's also important, like to literally just we were talking about Ward. I think he could jump Ward again. I'm saying Ward. I love Ward. Dart, I think is gonna get in there by midseason, man. After looking at their schedule, like they are gonna get rinsed. They have such a tough schedule. I think he'll get in there. I think they'll like not want to put him in there. Like also though, so it's like kind of this weird scenario where I don't know what week it is. He'll get it in there. He's looked good. Like I've heard some really good stuff from, the tape, the former Chase Daniels, NFL quarterbacks, Kurt Warner, guys like that, where it's like, okay, clearly these guys know what they're talking about. They think he's way better than expected. But Dart, like his path to raising and that, like I just can't take anyone over him here, honestly. Like, he doesn't need to do much. We know quarterbacks in rookie drafts, unless you have Bryce Young's rookie season, you're basically going to maintain your value historically or go up. Like, at worst, you're losing like 10% of your value. He's an extremely safe pick. He could literally produce for you. He just like has the profile. I mean, to be a Bo Nix type thing. I mean, I know people will throw that one out there. I don't think it's crazy. I mean, his situation's really not any different from what Bo Nix hopped into. I don't think he's as good as him, of course, as a prospect. But I've really come around on Dart. Like, I only have one share of him. I wish I had more. Again, it's just like I didn't really have picks in that range, anyways, to get him.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Honestly, I haven't heard that much about Dart. I mean, like maybe a very small amount, and it seemed like it was positive. But like honestly, I've heard very little about him, so he just really hasn't been discussed a lot. Maybe part of that is because he really isn't very relevant to redraft, and I feel like so much of the content, these past few weeks here, as we've gotten into August, has been about redraft and best ball and everything, and Dart just isn't relevant in those formats. So I think that's probably part of the reason. But hey, I'll take your word for it, and I think that's a solid pick there at the 112.
It's the preseason. Like he was calling audibles at the play, like calling a shot, throwing his touchdown on the play. He's looked awesome, and
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. So the stats prove it, and the tape apparently too. So I'm buying it, and I think 112's a really cheap price. I mean, we just learned this lesson with Bo Nix. I think that's the clearest thing. Is I'm trying to learn my lesson from that.
Yeah, I think that's fair. So at the 201 here, this is definitely a tough call. It feels like there's a bit of a teardrop off here where it's just kind of like, what player am I going to go with now? I think you could, argue this a number of ways. It doesn't feel great, but I guess I'll go with Judkins,
Yeah.
I mean, he's still a pretty good prospect. I don't know. I mean, it still feels like the waters are a bit muddy here with like, what's his role going to be year one? I mean, it does feel like I might just be getting this landmine in Dynasty where he just like does like nothing, and the Browns suck, and they're like mostly throwing the ball because they're behind, and then Dylan Sampson or Jerome Ford are like the better pass catcher. So I don't know. I might even be talking myself out of it here, but I'm trying to remember all the positives about Judkins. I mean, at one time, like this was going to be like the next dude at running back. This was like the next like Bijan type. Like he had that amazing rookie season at Ole Miss, I believe. So hopefully that guy is still there. It seems like the legal situation has been worked itself out. Although I guess technically the NFL could still suspend him because like you don't necessarily have to be convicted or even necessarily charged for the NFL to just say, hey, you violated our personal conduct policy just because you got yourself involved in a situation where you put yourself in a position to be accused or whatever. So yeah, I guess I'll begrudgingly go with Judkins, but it doesn't feel amazing.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just filling out this board here because I want to put it linear so it like looks like a rookie draft. But I'll like
Oh, okay.
if I had
But
a
yeah,
201 if I had the 201 right now and I could get Judkins, like I'd be
yeah.
like over the moon. But like again, like we just ranked him there for a good reason. Because I think I do agree.
We got some comments. We got some comments from Brandon here. He says Henderson and Harvey have been going to ADS apart in the 2 redraft leagues I did this past weekend. I think he probably means rounds. Maybe he meant RDS.
Yeah, round. Yeah.
Okay. And he says Henderson has skyrocketed up redraft boards, going early 4th. Yeah, he definitely has been going like earlier and earlier. It seems like every time I see like a underdog draft on YouTube or something like that. So
he shot up 11 spots in like, I mean, like under a week. Like, and that is unheard of on like underdog. Like unheard of. I mean, it wasn't even.
The hype is definitely out of control for Henderson. Brandon also says he echoed that Dart has looked good in preseason. And then he put in all caps as a separate comment, Caleb Johnson. So, Brandon, you have to tell us what you like about Caleb Johnson. Like, I was suddenly very high on him. Like, what was it? Like a couple weeks ago, and I really talked him up on stream. And then, from that moment forward, I've been hearing nothing but like negative reports on him. You know, he's like 3rd on the depth chart. He's behind Kenneth Gainwell and a lot of other things. And it just sounds like I'm just starting to feel some bad vibes that it might be a slow start to the season. Still think he could be a really good player and eventually pay off. But, I'm not quite as high on him as I was even just a couple weeks ago. But, yeah, let us know what you like about Caleb Johnson. And do you expect him to produce in year 1?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll talk about him when he comes up. I'm just trying to see if, I mean, he should be coming up here pretty soon.
Yeah, he'll be coming up here pretty soon. Yeah,
I had to just fix that board because I wanted to
make it like a real rookie draft. Yeah,
look like a rookie draft, but we're caught up. Rookies.
Yeah, so you're on the clock here at the 202.
Yeah, I mean, God, I mean, it really like. I mean, call me crazy, call me the biggest Caleb Johnson hater. I'm not taking him. I'm taking Burden. I'm not even like.
I thought that's for me. It was between Judkins and Burden.
I'm not a big massive Burden guy. I think he can go to a slow start, which I don't love. But again, it's a 2-2. Like, look, if DJ Moore's out there and you're just thinking of a receiver room with Burden, Rome, and whatever would be added or left over. Obviously love him there as well. Like I would be very excited to have Burden at 2-2 if I knew that was going to happen in the next year.
Yeah,
I wouldn't. I'm so glad you don't have to take him in the first round to get a guy that you don't really think is going to do anything in the first year. Like that's more what second round picks are for. Kind of like Judkins there. Like that's why I would feel so great about having these guys, in the 2-1, 2-2. Yeah, I mean if you're spending a first round pick, like you want a guy that has a chance to smash year 1. Not that Judkins and Burden don't. It just feels like not amazing. So Burden, yeah. I mean, I'll go with him. I think he's boom bust, but I think it's worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess like Caleb Johnson would be the next logical pick here. I mean, it doesn't feel great. Like I could argue, reaching down ADP a bit here. I think this is kind of the point where you're like starting to think about it. Just because the reports have been that bad on Caleb Johnson recently, but I think I have to go Caleb Johnson here.
I'd take him here. Yeah, there's no one I would take over him at this point. Though again, like I think like a Tootin or a Scatabo could easily jump him. Like they weren't really taken that much different in the NFL draft either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean you were just hyping up Johnson. I mean
I was.
The thing though is like it changes. Like I was very like anti Johnson. I am. But the thing is like, okay, but if I'm getting him at 2-2 or 2-3, depending on what the board is, I guess in this scenario, I'm saying if I get him at 2-3, I'm still really excited if I get him at 2-3.
Yeah.
I'm just not picking him in the first round like everyone else was. Like, I personally, and we can see that with our mock, but I had Caleb Johnson was on my board a total of 0 times this entire rookie draft. I just did not care. I just said I'll take Tootin or Scatabo later if I want to get a running back like that, which I did. So I think he could be good. I just don't think his profile is enough to like make me terrified that I'm gonna miss out on Caleb Johnson like with a late first where you got to take him. I think guys like Golden, Dart, Loveland, like those guys terrify me. Like if I miss out on those guys, Ibuka,
Right.
like you're really gonna have some serious regrets. That's what I like value most when
Yeah. But I
putting
mean,
those guys
the
over.
only reason I would not take Caleb Johnson there, if I made that decision, but obviously ultimately I did choose Caleb Johnson there. I think that's the right call.
Yep.
But if I didn't, I would just be thinking, what player has the most trade value right now? What player is going to have the most trade value after week 3, week 4?
Yeah.
And I can make an argument for some other guys, but I'm going to go with Caleb Johnson there. You're on the clock
Yeah.
at the 4, Blake.
Yeah, I mean, this is where it gets interesting, Brandon. He's saying he's a Steelers fan, and
Where's Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt
This-
going with the eye emoji? Well, it's funny you mentioned that because I will confess that I was debating Caleb Johnson and Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt at that last pick. Those are the 2 players in my head. I don't know if
Okay.
that's enough, but like I'm seeing some of the trades that are getting done with JCM, and that's weighing in. I mean, I almost feel like JCM has more not only trade demand certainly, but maybe even trade value right now than Caleb Johnson. I mean, is that nuts to say in terms of like real leagues?
I think it's nuts to say, but yeah, I mean, I don't think it's true. Like, here's the thing, I have some offers out right now. I mean, man, we should go send some offers out. I don't think any of them are good. I would 100% trade JCM for like Caleb Johnson, like 1,000,000%, like anything like that. I would add. Like,
I mean, that would
easily.
probably age well in the long term, but playing the market, could you do more with JCM right now? It's I think it's a legitimate question. Maybe the answer is no, but I think it's a legitimate question.
Yeah, you might be able to. Maybe we'll talk more about that when he's picked.
Yeah.
We'll unleash your thoughts. We'll probably spend a minute on that one for sure. But
yeah,
man, this is tough. This is a dead zone.
It's a tough one
right here. I mean, there's a lot of guys I love.
You might need to scroll down as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't just look at the top of the board there.
Yeah, I did take a look down, and like, again, you just gotta call your shot at this point. This isn't like I could probably regret a pick here.
Sure.
It might sound stupid. Like I'm going Tootin here. Like I'm putting my money. Actually, God, I mean, I'll be honest. Like Tootin Scatabo, I've been back and forth, and I think I've said like I literally just took Scatabo ahead of Tootin. Actually, I gotta put Scatabo. I'm pulling.
Okay.
I gotta put Scatabo by default. I did just draft him. There's just neck to neck for me. I thought you had to take Scatabo because the ADP game, like that is more so why we took him ahead.
Yeah.
Is we knew we could get Tootin later. But man, I like both guys. It hasn't been the best start to the offseason. This is kind of where I was drafting them in the mid-second in rookie season. You could argue they shouldn't be getting taken here as high now, but I just don't really see anyone else making a case. So, I got to go with him.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going JCM here. And it's not even that. I mean, I do really love him as a player. I mean, he was one of my favorite sleepers. I mean, I had 6 shares of him after my rookie drafts. I drafted him in 6 rookie drafts out of like 14 Dynasty leagues. So he was one of my favorite deep sleepers. I thought, he looked like a, awesome player when you watched him. Yeah, he's an older running back, but I mean, who even cares like that much? I mean, and I know he's got poor draft capital, but he just looked like a better than the typical running back that you would expect to have gone in the 7th round of the NFL draft. I think it just speaks to what an amazing running back class it was. But yeah, the hype's out of control. So, I mean, honestly, even in a league that isn't the most active, as this fictional league that we're doing this mock draft in is, I feel like JCM is one of those players I could move pretty easily right now. And
Yep.
I mean, he's getting moved for like 2 seconds and like all kinds of like crazy stuff. Like, I don't think there's a player that has more trade demand and trade value than JCM right now. So I don't know if he's someone you want to actually draft and hold. I mean, he's someone you might want to just cash out on because the hype's out of control. But like, just give me the player that's incredibly easy to move right now, and I can just do a lot with via trade.
Yeah, I mean, it feels crazy, but like, I'm just looking at the other names, and yeah, I mean, you might be able to get the most trade. Here's the thing: you might be able to get the best odds of getting a deal done because you own them. Like,
Right.
You might not even be worth as much as the other guys, but like, just the hype. I mean, I've never seen anything like this hype. I mean, this is
Yeah, I
insane.
mean, it really might be like a form of ADV. Like, it might not even be real. Like, who
Yeah,
knows? I mean, maybe like Chris Rodriguez is actually like the
yeah.
starting running back for the Commanders. Like, who's to
Maybe
even say?
Brian
But
Robinson just stays there. I mean,
right,
obviously it's
exactly. Maybe they don't get
looking.
a trade done, and they're just like, you know what? We're just gonna hang on to him.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Brandon said biggest rookie riser. I mean, I would say he's the biggest preseason rookie riser ever. Like,
Yeah.
I know Puka had some hype in the preseason, but it was nothing like this. I mean, you might have had to
Well,
pay
Puka, I
a.
mean, with Puka, it really started after week 1, where he
Yeah,
had like, what was it, 16
yeah.
catches
He
or
had good
targets or whatever it
preseason
was.
games. Like, I remember it being like, oh, you can cash him out for a second now, but it was
Right.
like, I don't know, man. Like, he's a fifth round receiver, but and there was no Puka before Puka. Recently, we've seen like Bucky, we've seen like all these like crazy things these last few years. It feels like that
Yeah.
now it's like people are so much more open to the idea of this seventh round running back hitting. What I will
Yeah.
say is like, yeah, I mean it's not crazy with Krosky. I mean we looked pre-draft, and we're like, yeah, this guy looks like way better than like no one's talking about this guy. I mean, I remember seeing him originally.
Yeah, I mean, I remember just like when I watched like, 'cause, I'm not like a film guy, X's and O's expert per se, but just to get like a sense of each player, like during like rookie draft season, I'll just watch like the, college highlights of like pretty much like all the prospects, all the rookie prospects. And I remember when I watched it for Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, it was like, holy cow, like this guy looks awesome. Like if you had told me that, oh yeah, this guy's, win the round 3 of the NFL draft, I was like, oh yeah, I can see why. Like this guy looks really good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I saw some random thing on Twitter like months out from the draft, and I was like, because I had seen his name thrown around a couple times, but didn't know anything about him. And I was
Yeah.
like, that's the most like, Bryce Ford Wheaton name ever.
Oh
Like,
God,
it
right?
just looks like a guy that'll never, like that's a thing. And I was like, holy crap, like this guy looks interesting. Then I looked in more into him, and I was like, oh, he's like 24, and like, but I'm like, oh, there's all this like weird stuff. Like he like tore his ACL and like played one
Yeah.
game last year. Anyway, so he's
And
such
by the
a
way,
unique.
Brandon says, oh yeah, I've seen him go for a second in multiple leagues. So that's interesting because I don't think I've seen JCM move since the hype started. And we've heard about these other these trades getting done through like Dynasty Daddy and stuff like that. But it's like, who knows? Like, what kind of leagues are they? Are they free? Is there even any like money on the line? So that's interesting to hear that in real Dynasty leagues, I'm assuming with money on the line, Brandon, that he's been going for a second in multiple leagues. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, Brandon's in a lot. I know, and I believe. I mean, you can correct me, Brandon. I think he's in a lot of $25, which makes like that feels like the range where like you can get a second for like for some reason the buy-in I think correlates to like what you can get for like a hype player. I think people are more willing to give up that second in smaller buy-in leagues.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, but Krosky, Brandon says he's a hold. I would say he's a hold slash sell. I mean, I just can't imagine he's a buy. And the only reason I say that is just because like honestly, like I'll just like how much higher can he go? Like if we're ranking him at the 2.5 right now, Dan, how much more can he go without playing an NFL game? Like he actually has to be good. Like again, we think he's.
I think
good.
he will be though. I think he will be.
Again, but like we're looking at Austin Eckler taking all the receiving work. If Austin Eckler wasn't there, I'd be much higher, I think, on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good offense and all, but again, we don't even like there's Chris Rodriguez. I'm not like scared of him, but he did play ahead of him. You got to at least consider that. Brian Robinson is still on the team. I know that it's kind of like very easy to wish cast him away. It does seem like it's a very real possibility he's just gone. But if
I think they cut him if they don't find a trade partner, but it's certainly not guaranteed. So we do have to remember that.
Here's my question though: why am I missing something? Why would they cut him? Like he's on a rookie contract. He's like a what is he, a 5th round rookie, 4th round rookie or something?
He's still more expensive than Chris Rodriguez and JCM, who the Commanders probably just think like these guys are just as good as Brian Robinson, if not maybe even have more upside.
Yeah, let's see how much he's actually making. Like it cannot be that much, is it?
It can't be a lot, but like businesses are cheap, and the every NFL franchise is a business.
Way
so if they can like. Yeah, exactly. So if they can cut him, like if he's making what $3.4 million, and they can cut him and just go with Rodriguez and JCM, who are each making like I don't know, maybe like $1 million in change or something like that because they
Probably not
were
even that much. Like
probably like yeah, not even that much. It's like hey, let's just save $2 million. Like these guys are just as good.
yeah, I thought Brian Robinson would be making like at most $1 million. Like with
Right.
I mean, he must have been a third round pick. I honestly
He was a
can't.
third round pick, I believe. I don't know why because he's just such a jag, but you know.
Yeah, so the anyways, yeah, so that makes much more sense of why they would cut him. Otherwise, I couldn't figure it out. For some reason, I've always thought he's like a fifth round pick or something. I don't know,
Yeah.
but
And Brandon did clarify that 90% of his leagues are either like the buy-ins either like $10, $25, or $50. So yeah, Brandon is talking about real leagues here where he says he's
yeah.
seen in multiple leagues JCM move for a second. He also says Efton Chisholm in all caps
Hey,
is
shout out Brandon. He's the first time I ever heard about Efton Chisholm. We were messaging on Discord, and he brought
yeah.
up some names. I wonder if he brought up Jacory as well. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
and also he also asked what Scadabo's ceiling is, so we might want to
Okay.
to that at some point too. I mean, I don't. It's hard to say exactly what his Scadabo's ceiling is as like a fourth round draft capital player, but I definitely think he has a chance to take over the backfield at some point from Tyrone Tracy, and if he does, I mean, I'm trying to think of like what his value ceiling is. Um, I mean, maybe he's the kind of player. I mean, it's gonna be. I don't know. I mean, Scatterbo could be worth a first because he's so likable. Um, I think he could. He's a player that could rise in value just on his like likability. But like realistically, I think probably the ceiling for Scatterbo is like he becomes someone that you could like get a couple seconds for, maybe a late first if you
Yep.
kick something back or that type of thing. But
Like
so it's not like the greatest ceiling in the world, but I think it's solid.
anything's possible. I offered the guaranteed 201 for Tracy last year as a 25-year-old rookie running back, and it got rejected.
Wow.
So
Okay.
as a contending team, I had yeah,
Yeah.
it was Joshy that declined that, and like
Yeah, I guess I was just trying to think like somewhat
Yeah.
realistically, like sure,
No,
anything's
no.
possible. But like, yeah, I don't think it's crazy to
Same
think that
team.
Catapult could be worth like at least like a late first,
He's
maybe even a late first plus and a
yeah. He's not that far off. I mean, he's literally on the same team as Tracy too. I think this is the point is we like Tracy. Actually, I think Tracy is becoming a pretty good like redraft candidate for like a hot start because Scatabo has been hurt. Like I think if Scatabo wasn't hurt, the hype train could be just rolling on him.
yeah, maybe.
Completely.
Although some people are saying like, oh no, it's been Tracy all along, and it's like I don't know if that's revisionist history or
yeah, I'm not buying it. Look, I think it could start like that, and I think it probably will start like that. But Scatabo's just one. Like when we're in the second range, like I'm trying to balance all these factors out, and to me, it's just like, look, he catches the ball, he's gonna get the goal line carry. Like, yeah, actually, Tracy got subbed out for Singletary by them in the preseason after getting stuffed. I was watching the game and I noticed that. And
okay.
I mean, like Tracy got sacked for Singletary after his breakout. Like, I don't think they're so
Yeah.
into Tracy like that. I mean, that certainly makes me nervous knowing all that stuff with the fumbles as well. So, look, Scatabo's just like a dog. I mean, it's pretty simple. He catches the ball. He's gonna score touchdowns if they're scoring touchdowns. They have Dart. If Dart's the guy, I mean, like this could be a way better offense than we think. It is kind of like again Denver last year is the easy comp. So I mean, I don't know exactly what the ceiling is, right? I mean, it's not like he's going to be some early first, but I think he can be just productive in the mid second.
Yeah, but he's definitely a fun player. He kind of feels like Tyler Warren, but at running back and with like less draft capital. But he's definitely a really fun player.
Yeah.
So I think if he gets some momentum at some point, I think he could have a quick rise in value just because of his likability.
Yeah, let's keep this draft rolling. This is such a tight tier as I'm looking at these names. I'm just gonna keep again rolling with Tootin here. I almost picked him at the last one, but
yeah,
you just gotta trust the process. I don't love doing that in like the second round, but there are some situations where I'm just like, I'm just willing to just trust the player basically, and just like
yeah.
I mean, there's just I don't really need to say much about Tootin. Probably most of the people have heard it all. We've talked about Tootin on the channel before. I'm just like not gonna be afraid of like the ambiguous situation. I'm gonna lean into it. Like, I mean, this dude's ceiling is insane as a player. It's not even like I don't even want to really talk even about the dynasty value. Like, if this guy gets a workload and looks as good as I think he can, I mean, he's just going to be a guy like you want on every single one of your teams, and you're going to be punching yourself for and kicking yourself for missing out on him. So that's just what I'm looking for in this like mid-second. I just want to find guys like if I miss out on them, like who am I like really mad about? And I have to rank Tootin over these other guys because of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, the upside is still there. I mean, I watch a good bit of Ron Stewart on YouTube, and he's been taking like Tootin in just about like every like high stakes like redraft league. So it's a good reminder just to hear smart people not only talking him up, but with a lot of money on the line, high stakes, high buy-ins, taking Tootin, draft after draft after draft, and redraft no less, not even Dynasty. So
yeah, what I will say too, if it doesn't work out, like ETN's surely gone next year, and then at like worst case on paper, we could project him out to be either the backup or kind of like a 1A 1B situation with Tank Bigsby next year. So like, I don't even think it is 100% a play for this year, but you also get a clear path to him bouncing back next year if things go wrong. So I just feel like that's a guy I want to invest in. Same goes for Scatterbo with that as well, by the way.
Yeah. I'm up next at the 207. I'm going to go Mason Taylor. Kind of a boring pick, but a 0.75 tight end premium. He's back from a high ankle sprain or something, which always sounds bad, but he's already like back and practicing. And if that's the case, like he could produce right away from week one. It seems like the reports have only been good on him. There's no one really else to catch passes other than Garrett Wilson, even if there's not a ton of passing volume. So he's the kind of guy that even like in week one, if he comes out and has 4 catches for 40 yards, like his dynasty value is going to go up, and I could cash out after a few weeks of like him showing promise early in the season.
Yeah. I mean, that was probably my biggest consideration was I see Mason Taylor. Yeah, I've come all the way around with him after the pre-draft process.
Yeah, and even though I think like some of the other tight ends like might end up being better, like I'm just gonna kind of play the market here and go for that early production and cash out.
Yeah, exactly. The reports have been good, so I'm gonna default. I really liked Higgins pre-draft. I had him, I think, like ranked at like the 205 or something pre-draft or something like that, alongside Noel. But Higgins again, I'm struggling just to see the scenario where like you're just kicking yourself if you miss out on it. Again, I could see him making some flashes and getting that ADV boost, but ultimately, like I've always liked Noel as the better pick, but I still have to rank Higgins here. I'm just not seeing anyone else that I'm like certain I would rank ahead of them. There's.
What's making you go Higgins over Noel?
I mean, Higgins is going to be on the field. Like,
are you sure though? Actually, I think I forget who said it now, but I heard Xavier Hutchinson like ran ahead of Higgins in like last preseason game, if I'm not mistaken, for whatever that's worth.
Yeah, he did. It could be kind of like the Rodriguez Crosby thing, though. I think that one's like way more. I mean, like they literally just spent like the 34th overall. I'm not gonna worry about that. There's a bunch of crazy stuff going on. Like I'm not worried about Xavier Hutchinson to say the least. So yeah, I'm just like not even caring about that at all.
Yeah. I'm definitely going Jalen Noel with the next pick. Maybe I kind of forgot about him somehow. Like, he's like probably like my favorite rookie at value, at least for the past like, month or so, month or two. I kind of like was sleeping on him early in the off season. Then I've just been like all in recently the past couple months. So yeah, could have made a case for him over Mason Taylor. Like, I mean, he doesn't project to score points right away, but he's a guy I'm just fine stashing on my bench, stashing on my taxi squad. And I just feel like he's going to be a baller once he gets in there. So I'm just going to be patient with him. I don't even care about playing the market with him. Yep. Just give me the future stud. Give me Josh Downs 2.0. I just think this guy's going to be awesome. I probably should have even have taken him earlier. Somehow I forgot about him.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's just like nothing wrong with that. Especially when you're at the 2.9, if you're just a guy you believe in. I mean, I really like Noel as well. I will say, like, I don't think I mean, it might just be bad process. I don't think I'd take him. He would be getting really close. Actually, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, he would be right there for me, I think. Although it just wouldn't feel amazing for some reason, just because we haven't really heard anything on Noel. Whereas
you see, I don't even care because, like, yeah, there are some other players that are getting some hype right now that are still on the board, but I just feel like Noel is just such a better prospect than most of the other players that are getting more hype than him right
Yeah,
now.
agreed. This is a very tough position for me. Like this is there's a lot of weight. It's feeling really flat.
Yeah,
There's Kyle
it's
Williams
it's kind of
there.
like get your guy now.
Yeah, and that's what I think I'm gonna do. I mean, sounds crazy to say because this is not my guy at all. But again, it's just like it's the ambiguous backfield.
Yeah,
It's a team that I want a running back on, and again, he fits like that. I mean, he's not Henderson at all. Like, let's be clear. But he catches the
yeah,
football. He's fast. His big play waiting to happen, and the backfield's just like wide open. I could not. I will never even touch Javonte Williams, whether that's right or wrong. I'm not gonna do it all year.
hmm
Jaden Blue is then the answer. I need to invest in Jaden Blue at the 210. I look if he gets out there and he's any good at all, like that's gonna be a guy I can just foresee as the Cowboys running back that people are just like going nuts over. The hype's gonna be there.
yeah.
Again, negative game scripts potentially like shootouts in that division. Their defense is apparently pretty bad. I've been hearing so. I don't know. I didn't really like Blue at all as a prospect, but I've really come around just to the possibility of him being a guy that you need to own in fantasy.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a tough pick for me as well, and I think that was a solid pick on Blue there. I definitely was considering him last couple picks as well. So again, another a tough pick for me here as well. I could go a number of different ways. I think I'm going to go Harold Fannin. I mean, I'm thinking of the 0.75 tight end premium, and Fannin seems like. I mean, of course, I could make a case for Terrence Ferguson. Seems like a great prospect. Some people like Arroyo. We're not quite as high on him. Of course, Aronde Gatson has been getting mad hype. I don't think it's crazy to start considering him in this range that we're in right now. But I'm going to go Fannin because I feel like he's the best combination of having draft capital, just being a prospect that I like, a player that I like, and also at least like having a chance to produce in year one. I'm not saying it's guaranteed. Of course, you have Njoku there, but I could see him running more two tight end sets this year, and Njoku can also get banged up from time to time as well. I just think one way or another, like we're going to see Harold Fannin show some flashes and make his mark year one. It might be more toward the end of the season. It might be sooner than we think. But one way or another, I just feel like he's going to make his mark. And at a 0.75 tight end premium, he just seems like another very likable player that I just feel like could rise in value very quickly. So I'd rather just kind of get ahead of the market and grab him here in the late second.
Similar to like Noel, that pick really feels like, and I agree. I really like him as well. I just wish I had more. I think I have like 3 of them. It just doesn't feel enough.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I'm same situation as him. That I kind of feel like more toward the end of like rookie draft season, I was just starting to have the epiphany of like, why wasn't I taking Harold Fannin like the early third every draft? Like, why was I letting him slip to like the late third, early fourth? Like, never should have happened.
Yeah. I mean, that just happens in rookie drafts, to be honest. And sometimes it's just because like you might just not own a pick there, or there's just like this one clear player that you need to take over him, and that screws everything over.
Also, it was such a deep class just overall, and all the with all the positions that it was just kind of easy for a guy to just kind of get lost in the shuffle a little bit.
100%. And Brandon says that Higgins was the first ever fully guaranteed second round pick contract ever. I didn't know that, so that's pretty interesting.
Oh yeah, that's what screwed everything up. That's why you had all like the second round picks holding out, because now they all wanted to get the Jaden Higgins fully guaranteed contract. So yeah.
Yeah, 212. I'm just gonna go Terrence Ferguson. It's kind of like one of those stash things. I don't like. It sucks because like, again, there's a lot of players I could rank because I think they might do something year one over them. This is one of those ones where it sucks. Like generally, I'd probably try to trade back and hope I could snag Ferguson a few picks later. In a real draft, I gotta rank him here because I think when he gets the shot, like that's a guy you want to own. Especially like in a 0.75 premium. Same reasons as Fannin, basically. All the exact same reasons. So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. I'm debating between, I think, mainly 2 players right here, and it's pretty close. I'm trying to figure out the tiebreaker. And I kind of don't want to give away what it is because I don't want to like influence your next pick very much. But I'm going to go with my lion. I'm going to go with Isaac Tesla here at the 301. I can't wait any longer. I mean, he's looked awesome. The Lions have so much invested into him. But yeah, we were just talking about it earlier because that was your pick on the you were in the real life Dynasty startup, so you picked Tesla. I forget exactly where it was, but here in this mock rookie draft, it just feels like he's going to be a good player on a great offense. I don't know exactly what the production is going to be year one, but kind of like Noel, I'm willing to just be patient with it. I just feel like even if I just got to like, stash him on taxi for a year and I don't even really use him much, I just feel like I have a good thing waiting whenever he gets his opportunity. And who knows, maybe an injury happens or whatever. I just feel like kind of like Fannin, but probably this guy's even gotten more hype so far and has shown more in preseason, at least from what I've seen. He's just a guy I want to own, and I just feel like whenever he gets that opportunity, he's going to be good. So I'm willing to stash him.
Yeah, it makes sense. This is a very flat area. By the way, real quick, let's go over this other one because they're waiting on us to make a pick forever now.
Oh, okay.
Let's get back around. Now, this is a 0.5 premium, so all our rankings right now for rookies are just like completely out the window. Otherwise, I'd be smashing Terrence Ferguson right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, 0.5.
So no tight end premium and only half PPR, so it changes a lot.
So, anyways, I was just thinking, like, I was messaging my
Giddens?
buddy. Yeah, we were thinking Giddens is exactly what
Yeah.
we were thinking.
I saw Giddens and immediately just jumped out at me.
They're all getting taken. It's just like one of the last kind of like really exciting, kind of handcuff backs. Yeah, I mean,
that looks good to me. I mean,
yeah,
I think that's a good pick.
Yeah, no, I like it. We were hoping Spears got there, but it didn't obviously like.
Of course,
But we'll take it.
Pretty good consolation prize there. I mean, honestly, you could even argue just like re-roll on Giddens, and I mean Spears. I mean, great upside, great weekly upside when he gets the opportunity, but just seems like he's always banged up.
Yeah. So this is a tough one for me. I'm just gonna put Kyle Williams here by default. It might just be because of like all the hype surrounding him. I do think he's pretty good. I thought he was pretty good coming out, like as a sleeper. I was hearing he could potentially be a second round pick. Didn't end up being that far off. Yeah, I'm just gonna trust it with Williams. I don't have anything like crazy. I don't own any Williams, by the way. So
yeah,
I just think 3-2 would be such a good spot to get him in a rookie draft.
Yeah. Again, I find myself debating between two players here. The one I was considering last time, and then I started thinking like, there's this other player that also is looking pretty good here. And I think, oh man, this is so tough. I think I might just kind of play the ADP game a little bit. I think I'm going Dylan Sampson here.
Yeah,
and that was not the player that I almost picked in the last one. So he was just kind of a dark horse that suddenly I saw his name. I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to go with Dylan Sampson here. I just love him as a player. I just get those like Bucky Irving vibes from him. So I don't know if he's going to be anywhere close to that good, but he just kind of reminds me of Bucky as a player. And it seems like a similar situation, fourth round draft capital, the expectations weren't huge, especially with, them taking Judkins ahead. But, it still feels like Judkins isn't totally like out of the woods as far as like, I mean, I don't know. He could still get suspended. He still doesn't have a contract. Dylan Sampson could have a nice opportunity one way or another here if Judkins just kind of has a lost rookie season one way or another. So, yeah, I just love the player and potentially a nice opportunity for him.
Would have been my pick. Yeah, I kind of feel like I'm picking some guys right now where it's like you're like picking the guys I don't know, are beginning to. I could feel that like it's gonna be like I'm gonna take a guy that I'm just like I gotta take him,
right?
But you're taking like the guy that's just like
the exciting hype guy, yeah.
I gotta go Milroe here. We actually just took him in the start. Look, like if I really believe in Darnold, like I would own more than one Darnold, which I also just took with Milroe in that startup because they're both good prices. Like look, he's just like the highest upside guy I think in this entire rookie draft. Basically beyond like the first like 15 players. If he gets on the field, if I knew he was gonna get on the field, like he would be ranked probably like closer to the mid second or early second. I mean, his skill set, this is going to be a guy that if you owned 0 of them and he gets out there, and as long as he does not absolutely stink, you will be sick to your stomach that you didn't own. I just cannot let him fall anymore.
Yeah.
Personally, in just such a valuable position in Superflex. So.
Yeah. I think I'm going to finally take the player that I almost took with
Okay.
the last two picks. Although I am seeing another kind of fun hype player that I kind of overlooked, but I'm
Yeah.
going to save him for you, Blake, because I've been hogging all the
Okay.
hyped up, exciting players. So
Sounds
I
good.
will save that one for you. Although the player I am going to take is still pretty damn hyped. I'm going to go with Aronde Gatson.
Okay.
I mean, there's been nothing but good reports ever since the Chargers took him. Getting compared to Darren Waller by their tight end coach, who used to actually coach Darren Waller. Um, he's just such a fun player. He looks awesome when you watch him. I think he's a really kind of sneaky good prospect. I mean, he had. I mean, you could debate whether it was him or Fannin that had like the best production profile in terms of their college production amongst all the tight ends in this rookie class. Great offense, great quarterback. I mean, sure, Tyler Conklin and Will Dissly could be a little bit, could be some pests early on, but eventually the cream rises to the top. I'm just
Yeah.
drafting him. I don't know exactly when he's going to produce, but just like Noel and Tesla, I just believe in the player. The hype has been great. I'm just willing to stash him, and it's a 0.75 tight end premium. So yeah, give me a Rondé Gatson. Can't let him fall any further.
Yeah. That's probably one of our most differentiating picks so far. I don't think I would take him until the fourth still, as much as I
Oh
like him.
wow,
Even in the format, I mean, we could see. I guess I'll try to find an area. I
yeah,
think there are other guys that are feeling stashy as well that I think just might have like a. I might just feel better, have a higher upside. I don't know. We'll see.
okay,
But I don't know. There's a lot of like hype guys here still. I think I'm just trying to figure out which one like to
yeah.
take over the other. By the way, I think you're gonna notice. Ooh, yeah, Brandon saying where's Dante Thornton. I think you're gonna notice like there's gonna be some players just like that were taken earlier that like are we're just like not interested potentially in taking at all, and also might reflect some players might reflect like how we were actually treating rookie drafts.
Yeah,
Others
and
not.
Thornton was actually the player that I was saying I just noticed that I was almost took ahead of Gatson. Although now I see another player that I'd also forgotten about. So
Yeah,
maybe it's just because I don't have control of the mouse here that I'm not able to like scroll down and
yeah.
remind me of some of the names still on the board. But yeah, definitely some number of good options
Yeah.
here. Okay, yeah, that's not who I would have taken.
Yeah, there was another player that I was strongly considering, but I think I'm still gonna lean this guy ahead. Actually, Vele just got traded. One of my
Yeah,
main reasons of like not loving Pat Bryant was hilariously enough Deshaun Vele, who everyone forgot about. No one even remembered he existed. And then he was actually getting really good camp hype as I was coming around on Bryant. Anyways, I didn't really care about Vele at that point, but like this is kind of like a potential wheels up moment for all of these Broncos guys.
yeah.
Um, you can boost them all up. Like there's just you just remove Vele from the slot. Like that's massive. Pat Bryant could get in there. It could be someone else. There's just a much more clear path. I think he has like one of the best opportunities of all the players left on the board to not only get on the field right away, but to I don't know, just to impress. It's again, I don't feel like too strongly about him over a lot of these close guys. It's very tight in here, is what I'll say. It may just be how you're feeling that day.
Yeah. For me, it's very close between two players with this next pick at the 307. I'm going to lean slightly Dante Thornton because I feel like he could be playing like 80% of snaps from week one. Whereas with another receiver that I was strongly considering, that other receiver, that NFL team might not run a ton of three wide receiver sets. So
Yes.
he might be more of like a 40 to 50% snap player early on. So just give me the guy who probably has similar upside, but's going to be on the field, probably in a full-time role right from jump. And that's Dante Thornton,
Yeah.
size, speed, freak, 6'5" and runs like a 4.3 flat 40, if I'm not mistaken. He's been getting good hype. I think you got to take him here.
Yeah, I'll take the other guy probably that you were looking at
Yeah, yeah.
ahead of
Torrey
him.
Horton was the other guy,
Yeah,
exactly.
I think all
And,
three of
and
these
like in
guys
a
are.
vacuum, I probably like Torrey Horton as a prospect a little
Yeah.
better. But I explained what my tiebreaker was.
Yeah, no, agreed. I don't think it was. I think these guys kind of all were in the same blob
Yeah,
here, at least for me. So I mean, I would also put Tesla like right in this blob personally.
yeah,
But again, it's just kind of really hard to like sort through these guys right now. It's
right.
just yeah, very difficult. So who are you thinking for your next pick here?
I mean, this is tough. I mean, you got a couple of pretty interesting Chargers wide receivers on the board. So it's like, how do you choose between those two? Obviously, I'm talking about Trey Harris and Keandre Lambert-Smith. Of course, Lambert-Smith's the one that's been getting all the hype, and he was like out targeting Trey Harris when they were both in the preseason game. But then when KLS got injured and was out of the game, then Trey Harris started going off and looked good. At least that's what people were saying. I didn't actually get to watch that game, but I know you were watching it, Blake, so you can certainly speak better to that than I can. So probably be a tough choice between the two Chargers if I was going that way. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else left on the board that I'm like particularly excited about. I mean, yeah, Woody Marks is still there. Like, I mean, he could have like a nice opportunity. DJ Giddens, you just drafted in the Dynasty startup. I mean, he seems like the clear backup in Indy. Jonathan Taylor's kind of injury prone. So yeah, if I'm really on the clock here in a real league, which way am I going? I'm probably going. God, that's a really tough one. I think I'm probably gonna go with one of the two running backs. I don't know. I could make an argument just take like the hype of Lambert-Smith, but I could still argue the Trey Harris over him potentially. Like, and I don't know if like is Lambert-Smith going to be a starter, or is it going to be like Quentin Johnston, or is it going to be Trey Harris over him? So there's a little bit of question there. So I guess I'll take the running back who's potentially just like an injury away. I don't know, but like Woody Marks could be on the field right away. I'm going to go with Woody Marks. I'll go with Woody Marks just because who knows? Like, what if like week 1 he comes out and like he's the dude? Like, I'm not saying I expect it, but it's in the range of outcomes. I mean, Nick Chubb has reportedly looked washed. Dameon Pierce is kind of interesting as a dark horse, but I mean, Woody Marks, they just drafted. They took him in the 4th round, decent draft capital. And I just like him as a player. He just looks good. He can catch passes, good offense. So I'll go Woody Marks here.
Yeah, this is so difficult right now. I mean, we're only working, we're on what? Preseason, August 20th. Like, there's just any information could inch someone over the other. I'm just going to click Giddens. He's been so disrespected on best ball platforms. He's like one of the worst RB2s in ADP. I just think he's a good player, or at least a better player than that. And I mean, I don't care that JT's ahead of him. He's whatever. Anything can happen, right? These running backs, like if something were to happen, I would be not very happy if I was not clicking Giddens at 310, and I have a bunch of Giddens because of that. 50%. Yeah. So who's up next?
So you're leaving me with the tough choice between these two Chargers receivers, and I really think you could make a good case either way. I mean, I still am really excited about Trey Harris as just a talent, and plus they have the draft capital invested in him. And I mean, I think he could be a future stud potentially, but I mean, Keandre Lambert-Smith it seems like he's outplayed him. So I think I'm just going to go with who's been better so far, who's been getting the hype. I'll take KLS here.
I'm with you. Like, I could be overreacting 100%. Yeah. It could be like, oh, preseason, this and that. Like, it is so telling. If you've been watching the games at all, when these guys are on the field together, like, KLS is the guy. I mean, there's even a quote, Herbert telling KLS saying, hey, there's more to come here.
Oh, wow.
If you just, like, watch the throws he's making to him, it's just, there's, like, a vote of confidence. It's like, okay, wow. Clearly, like, Herbert likes this dude. He is beaming the ball down, giving him suicide passes across the middle, bombs around deep. He's really getting him involved downfield, which I just don't feel like you see. I mean, he's been doing it with Herbert. A lot of production that actually came from Trey Harris was not, like, I don't even know if any of it was with Herbert.
Okay.
Maybe like
probably not.
So. Yeah, I mean, I think Lambert's ahead. I think you have to adjust to that. If we could 100% be overreacting on Trey Harris, I just think it's like, it kind of might be like a Jonathan Mingo type thing with Trey Harris, where we know he's boom or bust.
Yeah.
We're not hearing anything supported. There's like almost nothing other than that second half of that preseason game to support him through this offseason. Yeah. I'm just not going to let that affect. I got to have KLS ahead of him as well. So this...
Yeah.
So difficult here. I think I might just have to. This is awful. This is because I don't want to do it. No, I can't do it. I this is a guy that I cared about.
Or Jalen Royals.
I
Jalen Royals
at all. However, I'll admit he's just looked good on the field. He also does look like a Rashee Rice clone, which people have been commenting to. I actually see it. It's not crazy. But here's the thing: Rice is going to get suspended. Now there's a possibility of him getting suspended. Not at the beginning of the year. It might still be. We know that like Rice is kind of this volatile thing. We have no idea what to expect from him. Also, I'm just thinking about Hollywood Brown. Like I don't know, what did he sign, another 1 year deal? Like, I don't know. I think Jalen Royals actually does find a way to get on this field either this year or next year or whatever. We're at the 312.
Yeah.
I actually believe if he gets out there and like somehow he takes over for Rice, whatever might happen. I think like we just don't know what will happen with Rice. To be completely honest, that's kind of what this pick is. Whether it's he signs or gets suspended or trade, who knows? Royals, I actually think potentially could be a smash steal. It's not a pick I'd love, to be honest, like the process of it. But again, it's not really different from Lambert, Smith, Horton, and those other guys. I just can't let them fall to the fourth, even though there's a lot of players I like here.
Yeah, it seems like the reports on him have been good, and there could be an opportunity with Rice there, and it seems like he's a similar type of player. At least that's what people have been saying. So, yeah, I don't think it's crazy there, but at the same time, I mean, unless there's someone that I'm overlooking here, I think I'll probably like run to the podium here for Trey Harris at the 401. I mean, that seems like a great value for, I mean, he was a stud in college. He has second round draft capital, lands with a great offense in the Chargers. I mean, you're getting that at the 401 where, I mean, he was going, early second round for most of the offseason. And honestly, has that much changed? Like, I understand, like, he's fallen in value and he deserves to have fallen in value to some degree, but we're in the fourth round now. Like, I'll gladly take Trey Harris there.
Yeah. Hey, sounds like Brandon likes Big Play Dre, KLS, by the way.
Okay.
Head as well, so we're not crazy there, guys. And he says Keenan wide receiver is Keenan wide receiver 2 behind Ladd. I mean, you gotta assume so. Like, I'm actually pretty high on Keenan Allen as far as what he can give you when he's on the field here. Obviously, Ladd ahead of him.
Yeah, I think he'll be I think he'll be second on the Chargers and targets probably. I mean, because like I don't know, it could be KLS. Maybe he takes that over at some point, but he still has to battle Trey Harris. So I'm just gonna bet on Keenan Allen. I'll bet on the savvy veteran.
Yeah, my fading of Trey Harris here is just like, I don't know. It's like I've seen this story before. Like, that's what it feels like to me. Like, I was actually pretty interested in him. I actually have 0 of them, but I was really strongly considering taking him a couple times at like 2.7 where he always seemed to be going. But I backed out and do a Ridley Eckler for Trey Harris deal, like the pick for Trey Harris.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, like now I couldn't believe like how that's kind of turned in my favor, at least in like how I felt it's turned.
Yeah, I remember in our D-Gens league where it's like $25 buy-in and we're like, who knows how long the league is going to last. I remember I had like 4 seconds that were like, I can't remember if they were all in a row, but they were like really close together at the minimum, kind of like in the, early to mid-second range. And the 4 players I was considering were Trey Harris, Jaden Higgins, Cam Scatterbo, and Bashal Tutin. So I could take, I could take 3 of those 4 players. I had 3 picks close together, not 4. And so I basically had to eliminate one of those players there that I wanted all 4, but I couldn't. I could only pick 3. So Trey Harris ended up being the odd man out just because I determined those other 3 players had a better chance of producing earlier.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I just agree with that. Like, I think a lot has changed. I think KLS has jumped him. Like, everything we could get to give us information that KLS has jumped him has.
Yeah,
Thornton over Besh. Like, it's the same thing.
Right, exactly. We have to go with what we're seeing here so far.
Yeah, I mean, we're before the season. It could change. It could be a mistake. It seems ridiculous that Trey Harris is the 4-1, but like. No. Like think about how many million receivers are out there that are taking the second round or
that are bust.
The first round that no one cares about. Like Xavier Legette right now. I don't care that he was taken in the first round. I don't want him at all, and neither does anyone else. So like,
I think it's justified. I mean, I think we've done a pretty good job being like, pretty fair, but like, reacting to the news, but hopefully not overreacting.
Yeah, I think if someone is watching this, I mean, hey, you can tell us, Brandon, or anyone else in here. Like, I can just, like, feel someone saying shitter and show.
Oh, God, yeah.
I can feel it. Like, honestly, in my opinion, like, okay, shitter, like, it's not a 0% chance. It's just like
Oh man, I just
I
noticed a name where it's like, how do we forget about this guy? But it's so gross.
okay, interesting. Yeah, I like Harris. I just cannot. Or sorry, Shador and I just don't know what to do with them for rankings. I'm considering just putting Shook in here as a default because like he might be
That
the
was the name I was
starter.
alluding to because like, oh my god, a start, probably a starting QB, like
It's like
super flex.
I thought he was like penciled in, but he's like not even really right now. So
Yeah,
like I think I might keep him out here just because of some of these other names. But man, ugh.
I
Okay,
you're, you're,
I'll put. I can't believe I'm making it. I'll run to the podium here with Arroyo. I don't even
wow.
believe in him, but we're 0.75 premium. People love Arroyo. I think there's some ADV there if if anything happened. Even
Oh
though
yeah, I was thinking about him a minute ago. Actually, I think I was going to take him over both Chargers receivers, but I
okay,
kind of forgot. So I don't know.
like
But yeah,
yeah,
good pick.
there's still people I think like I like more than him, but he like okay, Fant's gone. I could be wrong about Arroyo and his 45 career catches in college. It's
At this point, that's a great pick.
he's like the last tight end up there, so I think
Yeah.
it's just like a default. Like I gotta pick him.
Oh, that's a great pick. Yeah. All right, so I'm up next. I'm just going to kind of go with a little bit of hype. Good preseason game. It was also kind of like a fun prospect, even if he didn't get the draft capital. But I'm going to go Ollie Gordon. It
Okay,
just
yeah.
seems like I like that. He is. I mean, take it for what it's worth, but like he has outproduced Jalen Wright in the preseason for whatever that's worth. It might mean nothing. It might just be circumstantial. They were playing at different times of the game where Ollie Gordon was probably playing backups and Wright was probably in with the starters or, you know, against players closer to the top of their depth charts. But in any case, it's you like to own Miami running backs. I mean, there's a lot of upside there, and A-Chain can be a bit injury prone because he's smaller. And so I just want to own Dolphins running backs. And Gordon was once considered a great running back prospect before he kind of fell off. But maybe that guy is still there. So I'll just roll the dice on the upside of Ollie Gordon.
Okay, I'm gonna break it here. This is awful. I'm gonna actually click Shador just because like if I'm clicking a 4-4 on a quarterback, I'm not gonna do an entire stretch. Like I just can't see it. Like I could be
Yeah.
wrong. He could be better than I think, but no one is if Shador hits, like you're actually gonna be excited about it. Like
Right.
someone's gonna be excited about it.
Right.
Yeah, like he's not 25 years old, so like
Yeah.
I gotta go with him by default, and I don't feel good about it, but
Yeah, and I'm going to let the knife continue to fall because I'm not going Tyler Shaw either. I am going to go Kyle Monangai. I mean,
okay,
I think kind of learning something from the Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt thing, you want to look at a situation where a backfield could have an opening for someone to overtake the starter. And I mean, I think people do hate on Swift kind of unfairly. I think he's better than people give him credit for, but still, like he's not a world beater at this point. If he ever was. But I thought Monangai was a pretty nice prospect, and he's going to, what hopefully should be an ascending offense. Great offensive coordinator there, and Ben Johnson. And I mean, what if Monangai just ends up being that guy? I haven't heard a ton about him, but I feel like what I have heard has been positive. So I'll just kind of roll the dice here.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I've had a hard time knowing what to do with him. I've been raising him up for sure. Only have one of him, but I don't know. I'm gonna keep an eye on him. Like I'm just not too sure what to
Yeah.
do. I'm gonna kind of run the podium with this one on Brashard Smith at 4-6.
Yeah, I was thinking about him
I think
too.
he should have went earlier, but I don't know where is like the thing.
Right, you're right.
It's so hard at this very moment doing this. Why it's so fun
Yeah.
and interesting. But I have not heard good things. I mean, Hunt's been hurt. Sorry, good things about Elijah Mitchell. Like he might not even make the team, is what I'm hearing.
Okay.
Hunt's
Right.
hurt. Honestly, like I think Pacheco's a pretty good value the way he's been, but look, Brashard Smith actually might be out there like day one having a role, and he
Okay.
can build upon that.
Yeah.
Even if he's not out there day one, like he just has a chance to do something. Again, he's kind of fits that fantasy mold you want.
Yeah.
Explosive receiving back.
Yeah, I
So
mean, just think of Jerick
he's
McKinnon. I mean, that gives you an idea of the upside. And he's young, he's
yeah.
explosive, he's a really fun player. So I love that pick.
Yeah, I think if you can get him here at 4-6 every time, you're super pumped.
Yeah. Um, Gosh, can I let Tyler Shaw keep falling? I do have another player in mind that feels more exciting. Um, Gosh, what would I do in a real draft? I'll just take the QB. I'll take Tyler Shaw here. I mean, I can't let him fall any further than this. I mean,
This is crazy. I mean, look, he's not even the locked in starter, it seems like right now, which is saying a lot for
he's
a
going to
team.
make starts this year. Like they
Of
have no
course.
choice. The Saints are going to be bad. They're going to have to start him. What if he's better than we think? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, I mean, let's learn from the Bo Nix situation last year. So I'm getting him in the middle of the fourth round. Like I gotta take the chance here. I
yeah,
mean, there's just no loss if he's nothing.
yeah. We might be crazy for this one, but I think just in my head, when I'm thinking with these other players, is like a lot of these other players could still be interesting next year. Like they
Yeah,
could just be better this year. They could actually have a job next year where, Shaw, like, what's Will Levis worth right now and guys like that? Like, nothing. They're on the waiver wire.
yeah,
I think that's probably his most likely outcome, but I could be wrong as well, which is why he should probably go earlier. I just don't know where.
yeah.
So
Right.
I
It's
guess those are
tough.
these like stash guys, but like some of these stash guys, they do have a route year one, right?
Yeah,
Like, and
yeah. Where are you going here with your next pick at
yeah,
the was it 408?
God, I mean, there's people. I'll just yeah, I'll just click Besh
Jack Bash. Yeah,
for no
I,
reason.
I
Just
was thinking about him even like a few picks ago.
maybe they find a way to get him the slot. I think that's just
Yeah,
his path to working out. I'd be happy to get him at 4-8.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean that's great value at that point. I mean, he's still,
there's
he
other
still has
players though.
even if like he hasn't gotten a lot of hype so far, and
This
he's
is
on the second string.
this is crazy. There's players I like way more than a fourth on this board right now.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go Jordan James here, just for the upside of a CMC injury. You just love to invest in those backup running backs, not only on good offenses, but where the starting running back is somewhat injury prone. So, you think of players like CMC, Jonathan Taylor, Devon A-Chain. So that's what really makes guys like Giddens and Ali Gordon and Jordan James very appealing. So maybe Garendo would be the next guy up, but he's injury prone as well. And Jordan James just seems like a good player.
yeah,
He'd probably be more like I feel like he's a guy that could have gone like third or fourth
yeah.
round in like the NFL draft if it wasn't like such a deep class. But I think the 49ers would end up getting him in the fifth round. But I feel like he's a better running back than your typical like fifth round running back.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like he could have been taken anywhere in
Oh
the
yeah, Taj
fifth.
Brooks is the other guy I was really thinking of.
Yeah,
I guess Taj Brooks might have a quicker path to starting. So yeah, you could make that argument.
I had them ranked just as you did though. I just the back to back, but
Yeah,
look, I think this is it's so tough because we're working with like no with just the information we have. We don't have the complete story, and like honestly, this entire fourth round, like, and even like a lot of this third round to me, starting from like after Samson or after Milrow, is just like, oh man, like honestly, this could be completely shaken up after week 2 or something like that. So,
yeah.
to say the least, like this is extremely difficult. I'll go Taj Brooks. I really like him, and he's a backup.
Yeah. At this point, like I'm just looking for someone that, has something that I can hang my hat on. And I see the name ETN there, and that stands out to me. So give me the guy with the last name ETN, Trevor ETN. Panthers took him in the fourth round running back. And I still feel like these guys that kind of get slept on. I heard that in the preseason game, he had two nice runs that were called back. One was like around like 25 yards, and another was around like 15 yards. So who knows? Like maybe if those don't get called back, maybe he has a little more hype about him right now. I really haven't heard that much about him. I don't know if you have, Blake, but I still think he's like a fun player. He's got the bloodline. He's got the last name. If he does anything, all of a sudden you've got, a young guy with the name ETN. I feel like that's going to have some trade value.
Yeah, I mean, I have a ton of ETN. I love him as far as like a complete stash is which he's been. Another stash, Hunter. Like again, like this is a guy. How is he getting to 412? I guess because the Kyron contract. I don't think it like, really changes much, honestly. Like I don't. He could have left, I guess, but like Yeah, this is so difficult, this fourth round.
Yeah, that's crazy to get Jarquez Hunter at the
Yeah,
412. I
it
mean,
doesn't feel right. There's
yeah.
something
I think
very.
there's been some positivity around Corum. I haven't heard a lot of specifics, but someone just alluded to that
He
on
punched
the.
2 touchdowns in, is why.
Oh, is that it? Okay,
They have the same
gotcha.
rushing metrics, but he did
Yeah,
punch two in the preseason, at least in week one.
yeah.
Any names here that like you think are, like there's no way they should have
I
made the
mean, Devin
roster?
Neal. It's hard to believe like doesn't even get drafted. I really haven't heard much about him
He's
though.
hurt, and I haven't heard anything about him.
Okay.
So
I still think Chimere DK is kind of interesting, although I really haven't heard much about him. So I guess he's just kind of gotten lost in the shuffle. I mean, Jimmy Horn's another guy that I've kind of have come around on a little
what
bit.
about Manor? Any
Oh
interest in
yeah,
him?
yeah. I mean, I still don't like love him as a prospect, but yeah, I guess like yeah, hard to believe he doesn't even get drafted here. I also noticed who was Jordan Watkins was really seemed to be
Oh,
hot before he got injured. Like
yeah.
he I mean he would probably have to be one of the next picks.
Here's
Because
the guy, Jalen Lane. Like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, and then also I was really thinking about it too, Brandon. I wanted to make Chisholm
Chisholm,
the
we forgot about
412.
Chisholm.
Yeah, no, I didn't forget about him. I wanted to make him the Mr. Relevant,
Okay,
but
he
I
deserves to
just
be Mr.
look
Irrelevant.
like Pop Douglas is there. I think he can beat him out, but like it is hard to like. I just give me Jarquez Hunter over him. Like I would
Yeah,
100. I'm just doing what would actually reflect like a real league. There's no way I'm trading Hunter for Chisholm.
yeah. But I do
But
think
I do
that
want a bunch of Chisholm.
both, I think Jalen Lane and another guy, Ty Felton, could both have some opportunity with just some like uncertain wide receiver rooms, either due to injuries ahead of them or contract situations, holdouts. So I think those guys are kind of interesting as dart throws as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Brandon is saying, yeah, Chisholm undrafted lane two. Look, man, there's a lot of players like, if I mean, we could have just not drafted Besh. I mean, we could. I honestly, I don't think it would be crazy if you wanted to take like a Lane over Besh or something, just because I think Lane can actually make the field. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
he
does
could.
that
I
mean
mean, yeah.
Besh
I mean,
is
would it shock you
worthless?
if like Lane was like one of the top three starting
Yeah.
receivers with the Commanders week one? I mean, wouldn't shock me.
This is the most difficult thing, right? Like, how far is too far for guys like Harris, Besh, these fallers? I don't know.
Even
It's
Isaiah Bond, and he's kind of interesting because like he probably would
yeah,
have been a
Bond.
semi-high draft pick if he didn't have his whole
Yeah,
situation there. And then even Savion Williams, third round draft
yeah.
capital,
I would have
kind
taken
of
him.
like wide receiver, running back hybrid type of going to the Packers.
Yeah,
Like, so yeah, still a lot of interesting players that don't even get drafted in this, 48 picks that we did here.
yeah, which is crazy. I mean, Bond. What I will say is like I should have picked some up. I didn't pick any up, which is probably dumb. Though
Yeah.
rosters are tight. But I mean, I'm just gonna trust like the tape guys and stuff like that on him and just in general. I do think
Yeah.
he could make some noise in that
Yeah.
receiver room. But I mean, basically, I mean, I'm just gonna trust Josh and Hayden from Underdog. I mean, they just like had him like wide receiver 20 something, like one of the worst like guys that you would even have
I mean, you
getting
you should have
drafted.
seen their video on Jalen Royals. I mean, they just like ripped that guy apart. Like
Yeah,
I
oh
was
yeah,
never like look at Royals the same after seeing that their video breaking him down.
yeah. No, I just think at least like Royals has some interesting stuff compared to like yeah.
Yeah, I mean
There's
he's
just
he has had positive
if
reports.
he
So
wasn't in his exact scenario right now, yeah, I mean, I might not be interested at all in Royals, but like
yeah,
there's
yeah,
the suspension, all that stuff. So, yeah, I mean, Raheem Sanders is a name too that
yeah,
I'd throw out there of just like he's somehow actually having a path.
yeah.
It feels pretty
Hey,
unlikely,
yeah.
but
Hey Blake, I'm gonna run to the bathroom. Like, do we want to end the stream or yeah? Can I just
yeah,
like come back in a minute? Can you
yeah. You just come back in a
yeah?
minute. I'll
All right,
entertain.
all right. Sounds good.
Yeah, Brandon. Anyone else in the YouTube comments, live chat? Let us know. What do you disagree with? I would say probably Harris Shook or whatever his name is, and Besh Sanders as well. Would probably be like the most controversial. Oh, and Arroyo. Probably the most controversial ones in general. Just not that high on them in general. I don't know if it's all right to let them drop like that, but we explained the parameters, of the draft. I'm just seeing a lot of good players ahead of them. So I think we did a pretty good job. I will say though, again, after Milrow at 3-4, you can shuffle these guys like honestly, just about any way. We're kind of just pushing like Bryant, Gadsden, Thornton, Horton up off hype. That could be completely different in a few weeks into the season. So maybe we'll have to do this again, like at week 8 or mid-season, something like that, and just see how crazy things have changed. I could see guys like Fannin, Ferguson, Knoll, Tesla, like there's guys that like don't really have an immediate path to doing something. I guess Fannin might. I could see them like flipping with someone from the 3rd and 4th round. Maybe it's the Bryants, the Thorntons, the Hortons, or something. And yeah, I mean, we begin to forget about these guys when points are being scored. So honestly, like, this is a pretty good exercise. Like, any draft pick is important. Waiver wire pickup after the draft. Like, there's really just not much change. Like, basically at 2-9 in our draft here, I don't think there's like too much difference between like the 2-9 and the 4-12. As crazy as that sounds, it's not that big of a difference.
And I'm back.
All right. I was basically just saying that, honestly, it's like starting the 2-9, especially just like, if you're just looking like, hey, Jalen Knowles, like, not even a projected starter, and then really no one else, like, behind him is in this draft, like a projected, gotta be on the field guy.
Right.
There's like not, it's kind of crazy. There's not much difference between our 2-9 and 4-12 right now in terms of just like, you really can't expect like anything from any of these guys. They're all like interesting to some degree in different scenarios, but like if this isn't telling you to just like stash up on 3rds and 4ths in future years and just chuck your darts, I mean, look how much things have changed for us.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. I think this was a super fun and interesting experiment doing this mock draft now. Like, yeah, we didn't even plan this, but all of a sudden it hit me and I was like, oh yeah, that'd be really interesting to do now. And definitely did not disappoint. I mean, this is so much different than what it was, at any point in the earlier in the off season. I mean, it's just, things have changed so much. I mean, it's wild to think. I mean, I don't know if that was like too early to take like Krosky Merritt at the 205, but I mean, you wouldn't, even if you think that's a little early, like you wouldn't let him fall too much further. I mean, he's definitely not getting out of the 2nd round.
By the way, I should mention this. I was offered Krosky Merritt and some garbage throw-in for my Mason Taylor in a 1.75 premium, no pun intended league, although there actually is a 0.15 points per carry, and I declined it. I just wanted to keep Mason Taylor. So I can put my money on where my mouth is on that one. That I got. That was after the preseason game as well. So I'd at least have Krosky Merritt down a couple spots. I don't know. I would take Higgins over him. But after Higgins, I think is just kind of like no man's land. Again, I think I would still take other players ahead of him.
But then, I mean, I could definitely argue taking like Knoll over Krosky Merritt, maybe even like Fannin.
Here's the thing, it's difficult though because like if Brian Robinson's off the team, like actually Krosky Merritt is gonna be on the field and can garner hype. We're like Knoll and stuff like that. Like even though I like them more, like those guys like aren't gonna be on the field. So like the tiebreaker for me is gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna take everyone that's gonna be on the field that's a better prospect. But then it's kind of
that's ultimately why I went with Krosky Merritt there, just because like at that point it was like the only players after Krosky Merritt that are like really starters are Mason Taylor, whom you mentioned. I guess I mean, you think Higgins is going to be on the field, but it's a little up in the air to start the season. Tesla could be a top 3 receiver on the Lions to start the season. Thornton seems to be locked in, but that's about it. I mean, there aren't too many other players. Maybe KLS if Quentin Johnston's injury is serious, or if KLS just beats him out. But yeah, it's kind of dicey after, from pretty much, I mean, even Scatabo, who went before JCM in this. I mean, he's starting the season as the RB2. Caleb Johnson seems to be 3rd on his depth chart right now. Burden might be behind Olamide Zacchaeus. Who knows what's going on with Judkins? So it's like, it gets dicey pretty quickly. So it's like, but it's really deep. I mean, all these guys are interesting, but it
Yeah.
still just seems like there are a wide range of outcomes for pretty much every player from like rounds from the 201 to 412.
Yeah, we're like clearly it feels so close because we're all thinking like, oh, okay, this guy's got this path and all
Yeah.
this is because we haven't got to week one. The funny thing is like we're also I don't think we're being like too over like optimistic. Go, oh no, this guy's definitely gonna do this or that, right? Like
Right.
that's
Right.
also why it's like difficult as well, is because we understand that like if one thing breaks wrong for a guy in the second here, Blue or no, like these guys like Blue and I mean Blue is, I think is like one of the best candidates, or even still across merit. If one thing goes wrong, like these guys could literally be just like the biggest roster clogger ever.
Yeah.
It's like the risk. Where actually it's funny because there are other players that were taking the fourth round that I think are like less roster cloggery than like Blue and stuff, potentially. Yeah. Though just like the opportunity's better situation immediately, so it's interesting how we have to break these ties, but we should do this again mid-season and
Oh yeah.
see how different it looks. We got to make a guess
sure.
here, okay? Now you can try to predict injury in it, like just in the sense that like okay, there's a fragile position ahead of them or something. Whatever you gotta do, who do you think is like the biggest riser outside the first round? Yeah, we'll have to exclude the first round just because like
okay,
it's
so
such a good first round.
the rounds 2, 3, and 4 in this mock draft, which of those?
Who do you think is like the biggest like change up and down? Yeah. Even though we just marked them here.
Between now and the end of the season.
Let's do it for we can revisit it week 8 or week
8.
We'll
okay.
call it mid-season, like week 8.
Okay, so halfway through the season, who's the biggest riser amongst this group from 201 to the 412 here? I'm just kind of scanning through the names here and thinking, by mid-season, who is just like shot up in value. I mean, I'm trying to think like, okay, is there a way Noel does it by then? Does Christian Kirk, how long does it take him to get injured? Because he seems like he's kind of gotten injury prone lately. Could Fannin do something? Maybe Tesla. Samson. Samson would be kind of a fun candidate for that. Gadsden, I feel like could just kind of emerge at any time. Thornton certainly will probably have the best chance. He's just going to be on the field right away. Horton similarly will have a nice chance. Woody Marks as well.
I zoned out for a second, but it feels like you're just naming the entire board.
Well, no, I'm thinking out loud. I'm just going through all the names and just seeing like who stands out. I haven't given an answer yet. You're just listening to my mind think right now. If I had to put my money on one by mid-season, I'm going to say Dylan Sampson. I think that's the name that really stood out to me because just with everything with Judkins, I just don't know, like, we just kind of have like a failure to launch situation with him potentially where it might just be a lost rookie season somehow. I know that sounds ridiculous because he was like cleared of the legal trouble and everything and no charges pressed against him. But again, he could still be suspended, even if he hasn't been charged officially or even if he's never going to get charged. He doesn't have the contract. I don't know. It's just kind of bad vibes around Judkins. And I just love Sampson as a player. So I could just see him emerging early in the season. I mean, Judkins is going to have to get into football shape and learn the playbook. I mean, he has even like practiced with the Browns since I assume he was there for like mini camp, but he doesn't have a contract yet. He hasn't been there for training camp. So give me Dylan Sampson.
Yeah, I actually think he's probably the most obvious answer on the board because he actually he's the only guy that has like a clear path to like playing, but is also like ranked kind of low. But
right.
We kind of have him ranked low because like, okay, Judkins might come back. There's also Ford there, so it's like it might be a short stint, but it could be a good call that like if you can get low on Sampson before the season, like a buy low like this, kind of just like where he was going, we have him ranked, which just kind of feels weird. Like I was really considering him as early as like once we got Higgins off the board. It's just like there was. I think if push came to shove, I might actually take him over like some of these guys I ended up taking over him, but it's just so close.
Yeah,
I was just kind of thinking like holistic, whole season, everything considered. I think those other guys might have a higher ceiling, whereas like Samson, it feels like a really like you get that opportunity right at the beginning, and you might be able to sell, but that wasn't the whole like that wasn't our whole process here to be like, oh,
Yeah,
can you sell?
I think Samson versus Fannin is kind of interesting because not only are they on the same team, but it's like I think Fannin has like a maybe a little bit better of a long term projection that you feel good about, whereas with Samson, not that he isn't a heck of a player, but just being only having the fourth round draft capital and having Judkins ahead of him, whom the Browns took in round 2, is there are concerns about just what he can really become in Dynasty in terms of value long term. So I think that's why I ultimately lean toward Fannin, because I do think Fannin could have a chance to produce year 1. But if you're just asking me who would have that rise in the first half of the season, I do think Samson's more likely than Fannin. So maybe for that reason, I should have taken Samson before, but you can kind of argue it either way.
Let's quickly look at the chat here. Brandon said that Etienne would go undrafted for him, and I know that he likes Chisholm and some of those Lane and stuff. So like I think I mean that's completely fine. I do think like Etienne's still a long shot, but he's kind of been one of my favorite like 4th round picks this year. Although maybe I should have been drafting like someone else instead, JCM.
I mean, honestly, like I think I kind of forgot about Chisholm at the end there, but like I think I could have made a case for him over ETN and Jarquez Hunter, even like Jordan James and Taj Brooks, because like what if Chisholm is just like
I don't disagree.
He's one of the 3 best receivers on the Patriots and is like a starter for them by like week 3.
Yeah, I would, if I could know that he could have a path to like clearly either beat Douglas or get on the field with Douglas. Like, it's just weird. It feels like Douglas has had a good camp and is like
he doesn't have to beat Douglas though. All he has to do is beat Kayshon Boutte, who did have a nice end of the season,
he's
being overlooked, and Kyle Williams, who has had an uneven camp from what I've heard. A lot of drops.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I've been hearing kind of stuff all over on him, but he's got the draft capital, obviously. Like
I mean, I heard he made like one like really great catch that caught everyone's attention. Kyle Williams. But other than that, he's like had a ton of drops in camp, and it's just been uneven.
Yeah, it's hard to know kind of like what's going on with him. But look, like Boutte, he was just named a captain, which is a huge turnaround. Like they actually, the beats and stuff were saying he went from fringe on the roster to like a locked and loaded like starter week 1. So like, he also just profiles for the position. Like I don't like Chisholm, from what I can understand, does not profile to be playing X, so like obviously it doesn't. So, but
so I guess Demario Douglas would be like his competition for the slot.
He has to beat Demario Douglas. It's
so
really
that's
awkward. So I do think.
But I guess that's why ultimately maybe the handcuff running backs like Etienne and Hunter make sense over him, but I do think Chisholm is like the perfect Mr. Irrelevant. So definitely deserves to be mentioned here. I mean, he's had a great preseason and camp.
100%. And he's a guy where like, okay, if I knew, funny enough, Pop is probably like one of the better guys you could be going against. I mean, he really hasn't done like anything significant and is also UDFA himself. So maybe Chisholm can take him over. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm rostering some Chisholms 4 or 5. So love having those. Let's see what else he said. He said Arroyo, he'd have him in with like the other 3 tight ends. So Ferguson, Fannin, Taylor. And which I know that's like a popular thing. We just are not like, or I'm especially not been too hot on them. Even still with the Fant thing again, which could be wrong. I think you'll be on the field a decent amount. I guess if they're running 12, but they do have a fullback there that they want to use a lot. So he is saying that Brandon's saying his players that he thinks will go up in value by week 8: Pat Bryant, JCM, Woody Marks. I think that's where I gotta go because you called out Samson. I have to call it Woody Marks just because that path is there for week 1. The first 8 weeks really. For sure. I mean, people have really been coming around to him. We've been on him early, whether it was right or wrong. But granted, he was literally the only other back there before Chubb when we really liked him, and we didn't know this Mixon thing was going on. But he just he had a great pass catching profile. Showed some workhorse ability in college. That's was enough for me. So could surprise us. He's kind of like the Tyler Shaw or whatever of running backs, where it's like it's not.
Don't say that. Come on, don't put that title on our boy Woody Marks.
It's not like a great prospect profile as far as like if you look at his like actual metrics and stuff like that. In fact, apparently they're really bad. But and I also I don't know if you have heard this too. The the coach that he played for, I forget his name at USC, some really popular college coach. I think he passed away.
Mhm.
Apparently, like all his running backs get 1 million catches, so
Oh,
it was
okay.
inflating his numbers. But which
Well, I
makes
mean, he
sense.
still has to get open and catch the ball and do something with it. So
Yeah,
I feel like he's a better player. I mean, you can, yeah. I don't know that much about what you
I
said
think
is.
there's players better than him on the board that were, but like he has a clear path to getting touches,
Yeah.
which these other guys don't really have. I'm actually gonna call out though, just quickly again. I'm gonna call out KLS. I don't like know how confident I feel in it. I think like like Thornton and Bryan are safer pits, maybe even Horton. But
Mhm.
I'm just I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. I'm just gonna trust KLS. You already got QJ banged up. We know
Yeah.
Keenan Allen loves to get hurt. Even Ladd himself has been pretty banged
Yeah.
up. It kind of just feels like there's someone could go down. KLS could step in, and I think if he steps in, he performs. That's just what I'm gonna.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I
Call.
think I'm pretty bought into KLS at this point. I only have one share in Dynasty. I think I know I traded. I was gonna drop him in a league. This was like, weeks or months ago. I mean, this was like way before all the hype and everything like that. This was like right after our rookie draft and blood, sweat, and beers. And I was planning on dropping KLS just because I just wanted to pick someone else up. But then I thought, you know what? Could I get something for him? I ended up trading him for Fab. I mean, the alternative was dropping him. Obviously, I should have, in retrospect, like I didn't know he was going to become what he did. I thought he was a, fun player. I liked what I saw of him, but I was just like, fifth round receiver. Like, what are the odds this works out?
Yeah.
And there were some other good players on waivers. Can't even remember who they were at this point. But and I think I may have had one other share that I just dropped. So yeah,
Yeah, I
definitely
mean,
a mistake, but like
didn't
again,
even
like
know anything about him coming out. Like I didn't even like I just was like, yeah, who's this guy?
yeah,
But then as soon as Mike Williams retired, I was like, okay. And then you actually see
yeah,
him play, and then it was like the camp hype that really got my attention. So
yeah.
yeah, he's been a guy that just really has came out of nowhere for me. He's kind of like my Jordan Whittington
Yeah.
candidate for this year of like.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to admit KLS is a thing because, only having one share and having like dropped him and traded him. And, I definitely don't want to admit it, but I think I have to acknowledge at this point that he's probably a thing. So I'm pretty bought into him.
What I do like about him is even if nothing really like happens this year, like I still think you'll see him on the field a little bit, and then like there'll be some flashes, and
Yeah,
you'll
worst
still
case,
be
he's like what Jordan Whittington is right now. At least an intriguing stat.
Whittington, Coker, something along those
Right,
lines. Like
exactly.
I think he can be,
Perfect comp.
which
Yeah.
is something. But it could be better. It could certainly be better than that.
Yeah.
So like that, but I don't know.
I'm starting to yawn at this point. We're coming up upon 1 a.m. on the East Coast here.
Lord.
Is there anything else we want to do or say before we call it a night here?
We went into great detail with that. That took way longer than I thought it would.
Yeah.
But we should have known that it would have.
Yeah, but hey, that was fun. I mean, we were only going to do like 2 rounds, and they're like, yeah, let's just do all 4. We'll go quicker. We eventually did speed it up, but it took a little time to get to that point. But either way, I thought that was super fun, very interesting. Yeah. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Definitely drop a like on the stream if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new here for sure. Hit the notification bell if you want to be alerted anytime we go live so you don't miss any streams. And for Film Club, watch Vanilla Sky this week. So we are probably going to talk about it next Wednesday evening. Although actually I did recently find out that I'm going to be helping my brother with a auction draft for a redraft league that he's in, okay. I believe that night. But we could still either do like kind of a late night stream. Like we might have to do more like, 10:30. Although
next Wednesday?
Yeah, next Wednesday.
I got a draft next Wednesday, I think, home league draft. So we'll have to
okay, so I don't know. You and I will have to talk maybe off stream about our schedule for next week. Maybe we'll have to consider doing the stream on Thursday, or I don't know if we consider doing it a day earlier on Tuesday. But I don't know. What should we say for the movie? Like, what what date are people safe watching the movie by, and so that they can.
We might unfortunately have to push it back, or just stream it on the Thursday or something.
Yeah.
We'll see. We just
Okay,
honestly,
but yeah, I think, but I think if you watch the movie
Watch it
before
before
next
Wednesday.
Wednesday evening, I think you'll be safe.
Yeah, just watch it before Wednesday, and we'll either do it
Yeah, yeah.
Wednesday or after. So
Great movie, by the way. Favorite movie of mine. I haven't seen it in a while though. Blake has never seen it, so I'm really excited to see what Blake thinks of it. Yeah, so it should be interesting. And yeah, I don't know how many people even remember that movie. I mean, came out in 2001. Cameron Crowe movie starring Tom Cruise. It's also a remake of a Spanish film called Open Your Eyes. So yeah, I don't know. If I have time, I might even watch the Spanish version, which I actually own on DVD along with Vanilla Sky. So feel free, if anyone wants to make a double feature, you could watch both. But yeah, we'll mainly be talking about Vanilla Sky. Definitely excited for that. So yeah, watch the movie, and we will probably see you guys